Yo, what's up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Don't you miss a moment here at A2D Radio. Don't do it.
Let's go! This ain't the fuck like this thing he stinks!
Oh shit!
It's gone!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour right here on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Tsutsuni, along with the broken one himself, Rob Povia.
Austin 316 says he just whooped KO's ass after 19 years away from the ring. Glorious.
Absolutely. It was a great match, actually, from considering how old Austin is. That was a pretty damn good match. All right, and tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are brought to you, as always, by our show sponsor, Manscaped. Listen, gents, at the end of the day, there's one thing in life that's very, very important, and that is confidence. Not only do the ladies love it, but your life loves it too, man. If you have confidence in yourself, you can achieve anything. Not just the hot ladies, but also you can achieve your big goals in your career and in your life. Confidence is the way to go. And Manscaped is a way to grab that confidence. Why? It takes care of your very sensitive regions and make sure that it's all nice and ready to go. And that'll make you feel pretty good about yourself at the end of the day. But as an important message as well, in the start of spring, it also marks the start of Testicular Cancer Awareness Month in April. And Manscaped has partnered with Testicular Cancer Society to bring the awareness to testicular cancer, men's health, and as well as early cancer detection. And Manscaped is committed to raising awareness for the most common form of cancer in men from age 15 to 35 and giving support for fighters, survivors, families impacted by testicular cancer as part of their We Save Balls initiative. And you get 20% off and plus free shipping with the A2D code at manscaped.com, as we usually say on the show. And you get 20% off as well with that code at manscaped.com. And it's time for you to throw your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. And that's pretty much what we're talking about when you talks about gaining confidence, and not just yourself, but also with getting the ladies too and everything. But yeah, also for a great cause as well, for testicular cancer. Unfortunately, some people have been affected by it in life. A lot of us have been, you know. My mom survived an early form of cancer. Unfortunately, Rob, I know that you tragically had a period, your family was tragically affected by cancer. So very important to get the word out there and take care of that. So Manscaped's one way to do it as well.
Absolutely, man. I think cancer has touched most families' lives, unfortunately. So it's great that the people at Manscaped are making a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we turn gears to our poll question for the day. And the poll question today is sponsored by BetUS, which is pretty much the leading book that you could find out there, the leading sports book that you could find out there. And the question is, trading Jakub Voracek was the right move, agree or disagree? And as for BetUS, here's take a little look right here that they've leading online sports book that's been in the market for over 25 years. You can bet anywhere in the U.S. on everything and use that link that you see right down there, and you could get 125% sign-up bonus. So keep that in mind, folks. Lots of good stuff they got available for you there. All right, so with that, Rob, I will ask you, was trading Jake Voracek the right move in the offseason?
I mean, it would have happened anyway, right? I mean, I don't think Jake staying on this team was the difference maker this season. So I'm going to have to agree with the poll. I mean, you got the job done ahead of time. I mean, just peeking over at what Jacob has done on the season, he's still on that one goal, 22 assists for 23 points, only 81 shots, which, just in comparison, Cole Sillinger has 107 as a center iceman, and he's a winger. So still not shooting the puck enough. He's got an I Corsi of 142, which is decent, but still not great. He's looking at. I want to look at the giveaway takeaway department too, because obviously that's been a bugaboo for this team, and I think he was one of the infractors there. Let me see here. It's so hard to track stats across while you're live on air, but those other ones I knew right off the top of my head. So, okay. We got that on the top line. Yep. Pretty much 28 giveaways to 37 takeaways. So he has been better in that department, to his credit. But again, is that really making the difference for this team? I don't think so. He would have been just another vet that you were trying to trade at the deadline, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree to that. I think getting rid of Jake Voracek, at some point you got to move on from some players, and I think it was time to move on from Jake Voracek. I mean, did he contribute? Yes, he did. He was a Flyer for a long time, and he had a lot of great moments, but it was time. It was time to move on and do something else. All right, and we've got the fam chiming in here. We've got Jason Fagan saying, I don't know if I want to win anymore this season. Thoughts? And honestly, I'm not against losing out to get a better draft pick at this point. I mean, you're not making the playoffs, so it wouldn't hurt, right? So I'm all for getting the best prospect you can get come the draft time. By the way, the first comment sponsors, as well as all of the comments that we have coming in today, is from Gleason's Bar. That's located 6700 Mill Creek Ave in Levittown, PA. You can use the promo code A2D for 10% off your order whenever you dine in, take out, or you go online at Gleason'sBarandSteaks.com. They got great food there, so there's a good way to get yourself a nice bite to eat right there and get yourself a little discount on A2D.
Always good times.
But yeah, so Rob, what do you feel about that, though? About what Jason said? Do you feel like it's fine if we don't win anymore for the season?
Well, we'll see as we get puck drop here on the Blue Jackets Flyers game tonight. It really doesn't matter, and of course, it's going to heighten those percentages of getting, either into the top 2 or into the top 5 overall. In a way, if you allow the competition to do their thing, and then allow the young guns to really demonstrate their intentional fortitude and coming back in games, making a mark on the game. That's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, because it's good for your future and it's good for a potential higher draft pick in the draft.
Yeah, that is true. And it's important to, get the best one you can get. We got Benny's chiming in. What's up, fellas? What's up, Benny? And Dylan saying, what's going on, guys? Hope all is well. It's going good, Dylan. Hopefully everything's going good up there in Canada for you. Jesse saying, what's up, dogs? What's up, Jesse?
Oh, Dylan absolutely fooled me on it. He was the only person on this earth that got me on April Fool's Day, saying he was done with the Flames and he was joining with the fan base of the Detroit Red Wings. And I wrote to him, I'm like, oh, Don's going to be so happy. And then after I hit the comment, I was like, oh, this is an April Fool's joke, isn't it? Son of a B.
Well done, Dylan. Well done.
I'll own up when you got me. You got me.
Yeah. Jesse saying Flyers are trash. Well, yeah, you're not going to get much argument from me. Dylan saying, agree to the poll. Atkinson is more of a leader than Voracek. And that's actually, I think, something that I would agree upon. I think Atkinson did show a lot of leadership qualities this year, even in a very poor performing season for the team. And Atkinson, unfortunately, has not been unaffected by a poor performance here and there. Everyone has put in a bad one this season. Now, you're going to do that, but when you're on a team that's pretty bad, they get a little bit more highlighted, those bad performances, than during a good season.
And real quick, Maddie. One of our viewers over on Periscope on Twitter at Don Dingo 75 actually disagrees with the poll. If you're still with us, Don, I'd love to hear your reasoning why you think Voracek should be on the team, and I'd love to hear it. Definitely chime in. But yeah, he disagrees to the poll. He said trading Jake Voracek was the wrong move.
Interesting. Well, yeah, we would love to hear that. Jesse saying, how are we going to remember this season 5 years from now? As a season where the Flyers found out that their plug-and-play bullshit was not working anymore?
Jesse, if you drink enough, you won't remember.
That's a good point.
Just
saying. You can choose whatever beverage you want. Just make sure you drink a lot of it. Jake saying, I'm going to disagree with the poll. He stunk since he's been traded, and he would have fit with the Flyers perfectly. And he is putting the laughing emoji. So I'm assuming that Jake is throwing his own April Fools out there for everybody.
Gotta be again. No.
And the Blue Jackets start things off in a hurry. They just scored. So it is 1-0 Columbus. And, well, that didn't take too long.
Not even done sharing the show. What the hell?
I know, right? And it is Gaunce who gets the goal here.
Yeah, loose puck, just poking at it, finds a hole between the skate plate of Hart and the post. I think Attard got in a little too close on Hart, too. Maybe, affected him getting over there a little bit.
Yeah. And also, too, Yandel allowing a player to get behind him, which,
big surprise.
Yeah, what a surprise, right?
Oh, that's another thing, too. Real quick, Maddie, probably should have covered this more in the pregame, but I was looking at the lines and the D pairings tonight, and I'll start with the D pairings. We saw over the weekend Attard get his NHL debut, which is great. That's what you should be doing at this time with this team, right? But to do it, they scratched Yandel and broke up the Iron Man streak and kept Sealer in the pair with them. And if I've noticed, they've gone back, and they certainly gone back tonight with Attard and Yandel. What was the point? I get it that you already set the record. This league isn't about individual accomplishments. It's more about team. But I just think that was a pretty shitty move, Maddie. What was your take?
I mean, I don't really... At this point, I am so very fucking done with this season that when the Flyers make a scratch or anything, it's like, well, at this point, we all know Yandel is not going to be a Flyer come the end of the year. I'm surprised that they're even keeping him dressed anymore at all, quite frankly, because it's not really like he's a plus when he's out there.
Yeah, so. but when you can drop down a Sealer or Connaughton, right? Like, I mean, just because he's a vet in the league and it doesn't really matter at this point anyway, why not let him pad on that? You know what I mean? I get it. It's not about the individual, but I'd love to hear the family's take on that, because tonight you got, Provy with York, Sanheim with Risto, Yandel and Attard on that third line pairing. The forward lines, Frost centering Farabee and Atkinson, Hayes centering JVR and Tippett, Lawton centering Cates and Konechny, who's down on the third line now, and Nate Thompson, Nasty Nate, centering Oscar Lindblom and Patrick Brown, moving to the wing.
Well, there's also, I think, a lot of the jumbling of the lines and the pairings because, you made some changes to the team and, you brought some young pieces. There might be that element of it, too, where they're trying those young pieces in different spots to try and see if maybe they fit with this player, maybe they fit with that player. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of, switching players around every 5 minutes. You should let them at least try to get some chemistry going before you make a decision of moving them. But then again, this team hasn't exactly been on any hot streaks recently, so I could also see why they would jumble things up and scratch some players here and there and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, absolutely, for sure. Now you look at this Columbus team coming in tonight, already up 1-0, about 5 minutes gone in the first period. They're going to be hungry tonight, 2-5-3 over the last 10. and really clinging to a faint playoff aspiration at this point. I think they're 14 points out with 12 games to go. So mathematically, I think it's getting there. You know what I mean? Because, basically 12 games, 24 points, 14 points down. You have 10 points to sacrifice. That's the magic number's getting thin there for the Blue Jackets. So they're going to be hungry. But they did play last night and lost to Boston 3-2. So hopefully the Flyers can be a little fresher of a team here last playing Sunday night and equalize this game as the game moves on. If, your philosophy is still win hockey games, that is.
I mean, no team ever tries to really tank. They're just that bad. But could they accomplish winning is the big question, since the team likes to collapse every 5 minutes. We got Joey DiBardino saying, "Good evening, gentlemen." Good evening, Joey.
What's up, Joey?
And Dylan saying, "Flames should have got 4 points last night after beating the Kings and the refs. Worst officiating I've seen one-sided in a very long time."
Yeah,
Don't you love those games?
Oh, yeah, you got to love it.
And then Troy saying, "Yo, what's up, Troy?" And Donna saying, "What's up, fellas? What's up, Don Don?" Of course, he's asking if Bry is being Deshaun Watson's massage therapist again. As a matter of fact, he is Don Don. That's why he's not here today, but he is here in spirit.
Is that why he wears number 23?
Yes, that is the exact reason
23rd masseuse, yeah.
And then Troy's like, "Already, listen, it's never too early to get started." And then he said, Troy says, "Proceeds to give Yandle a contract extension." Yeah, I think, unfortunately, I would not be surprised knowing Chuck Fletcher's dumbass. But anyway.
I'm done. If that happens, I'm done. See you later.
Yeah. Flyers trying to get something going here. They had a go up and close personal opportunity. Who is in net tonight, actually, for the Blue Jackets? Do you know by any chance, Rob?
I'm sorry. I should have known that already. I'll look that up, though.
It's okay. They stopped really showing the starting goaltenders, like the graphic and everything, which they say who's the starting goaltender, but when you have to have the game on mute, it's kind of impossible to know who's starting unless it's the Flyers goalie. You recognize their helmet and their pads and everything.
Well, it's a rough time of year for me with baseball starting on Thursday. Normally, I'll have this in my notes, so that's on me still, regardless of their graphic. Yeah, because some people are no notes here. I'm all notes. Elvis Mers Lincolns. Would have been my guess. I should have. 22, 18, and 6 on the year, 340 goals against, 903 save percentage, and 2 shutouts on the season. Of course, Carter Hart in that 13, 22, and 7, 311 goals against, 907 save percentage. Look at that in comparison, but then look at the record. That tells a lot right there.
So Elvis is in the building tonight as he plays for the Blue Jackets. Let's see if the Flyers can manage to rain on his parade here. They did send him packing one time. Of course, that was about 2 years ago when we thought the Flyers were relevant again. But, oh well. Amazing what happens after 2 seasons. All right. On to Frank saying, "Hey, yo, sorry to bother you at work." Why am I saying this is over here? I don't know. Dylan saying, "Yeah, good question." Dylan saying, "Yandle should have just played the 11 games. I agree with Roenick said that it's not going to attract players in free agency to do that to a veteran. It's not like they're fighting for a playoff spot. They don't owe Yandle anything, but just one of respect for the person and not their player. 1,000 games is a lot without getting hurt or missing time." That's a good point by Roenick. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Roenick right there. Very, very good thing to say right there. And Frank saying, "I agree. I have to agree to the poll." And then Don saying, "Ow." Actually, you know what? He's trying to say it the other way. But anyway. Oh, all right. So those are the comments. And right now, about 10:38 left to go. That's the time I'm at here. The Flyers still down 1-0, albeit though they're trying to push the puck into the Blue Jacket zone at this point. it's been, I think we can safely say it's been a rough go of it for the Flyers this year, although they did have a penalty coming up on the Blue Jackets.
Yep.
They just drew one.
I was going to say, I'm actually 13 seconds ahead of you right now. Let's see if that stays the whole game.
Oh, boy. That might change. We might be able to mark how many times you go ahead of me, and then I come right back and go ahead of you. Oh, God damn it,
For
cable.
sure.
Detroit's like 1,000 games. Holy shit. Yep, 1,000 games straight. No injuries, no nothing. And Bobby, what's up, Bobby? Saying, I can't wait for next year. I want to go watch the Flyers versus Yotes in a 5K seat arena with 2K people inside. Oh, that's, yeah. That's a remarkable moment in your franchise's history when you are such a shitty team that you can't even afford your fucking arena fees, and then you finally have no choice but to play in a college arena. That is spectacular. New low point for the Coyotes, just when you thought you couldn't get any lower.
Yeah, no kidding.
By the way, Stevens' logo right there on the side of his name, that is because he is an A2D member, and the perks for being an A2D member are quite numerous. If you become an A2D member, only $9.99 a month, you can get appearances on shows, members-only stream shout-outs, and weekly sports picks from the Money Pot Podcast in Willie Vegas. And by the way, you can use the Money Pot Podcast in Willie Vegas and then go to BetUS in the sports book and, get yourself some extra cash on the side before you know you're getting paid to be an A2D member. So definitely check that out, folks, and take a look at some of those perks you can get by that $9.99 a month.
That's what they call marketing congruity. You know what I mean? Like this is we got God bless our marketing people here. They do a fabulous job. Fabulous job.
Good old marketing department coming through in the clutch once again.
Yes.
And Sean Corrali getting called for that Blue Jackets penalty for the tripping, so the Flyers will roll out here. They'll have Hayes, Konechny, Farabee out there. We'll have let's see if anybody can get a goal here on the power play.
I haven't seen that in a long time. Power play last, not even 30th, just last.
13.1%. I have seen last place teams' power plays that are 10 times higher than that. Good God Almighty, that is terrible.
Yeah, right.
Whew. That has to be the worst power play in the history of the Flyers. I don't even think it's a question. But anyway, Dylan saying, I'm with Rob, though. Definitely got my mind on Phillies baseball. Can't wait. The Broad Street Bombers coming this year.
Cool. So you're Calgary, Phillies. What area? I thought you were in Western Canada. I'd like to know what the ties with the Phillies, or if I'm wrong, if you're in this area, what brought you towards Calgary, Dylan?
It'll be very interesting to find out. And
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah.
Or some dumbass minds like this guy.
Yeah, so basically at the end of the day, we'll find out from Dylan as we go along. Troy also saying, so I'm guessing the Flyers gave Brian depression. Yes, they did.
Yeah. He's indisposed, the hardest working man. He's working in the baseball for the Durham Bulls now. That started up, and that's why we're a team here. We're a fucking tripod. We got each other's backs. Good line mates here.
We're a tripod. I don't. So who's the who's that third leg? Who's the dick here?
Oh, got it. Whenever there's a question, who's the dick here? The answer is Pove.
It's not even a contest.
Oh. And it's unintentional too. I'm a nice-natured guy, but I'm still a dick. I'm just bitter. I'm bitter at life. I've gotten the raw end of the stick, and I take it out on everyone. Not even at all.
Dylan saying, "Oh, I live in Northeast Philly, born and raised, so I support the Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. And I became a Flames fan in 2002 because Iginla was a godsend, and then he was on the cover of NHL 2003 the following year. Automatic. Oh, okay. So you're a local guy, but you love the Flames, and then support the Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. Gotcha, man. So, well, all the same." Plenty of stuff to consume from here in A2D to get that fix of your Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers all over the place.
Yeah, buddy.
Question is what shows don't cover the Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers? You know which ones cover the Flyers. There's really only two. So, yeah. Oh, anyway. So right now, on a commercial break at this point, I will say this, and it's actually kind of funny. The Flyers this year have had some interesting ads where they'll show this one jabron who's at the stadium bar, and he's wearing all the different Rivals jerseys. It's actually on right now, where he wears a Penguins jersey, a Capitals jersey, and a Rangers jersey, but it's the same guy. It's like, okay, come on, guys, that's kind of fucking lazy, don't you think? Like, at least make it a different person every time. Come on.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Maddie, because that commercial bugs the shit out of me every single time it comes on, just for that reason. As well as, I don't even, as much times as I heard this commercial, I don't even remember what it's for, but maybe the fan out there can help me. But do you know of this commercial that describes like the COVID pandemic as like something about a virus that we can't even see? Can you tell me a virus that we can see with the naked eye? Because I'm still waiting for that. You know what I mean? Like the writing makes no sense. Like I get it. It's going for impact. Like we battled a virus that we can't even see. What the fuck is a virus you can see?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Every time it comes on, I yell at the TV. I'm a psychopath. Next.
Yeah. Honestly, it's hilarious to think that, some people get paid to write stupid shit like that, and they get paid a fucking, probably a decent chunk of change too, at least for me. But
right.
Sometimes I sit there and I wonder to myself, like one time I was putting up these signs when I was working for Rite Aid, and it was supposed to say 2013 calendars. It said 2103 on the fucking sign. 2103. How the fuck do you make that mistake? Like, how much money do you get paid, dude? And I bet you get benefits and everything. Holy shit! Why can't I get a job to fuck up like that? Please, Jesus.
Wild move. Oh, sorry. Flyers have really taken up the pace of play since allowing that opening goal. They're now leading 13-5 shots on goal. I think that was Scotty Jetpacks, too, or not Scotty Jet. It's Scotty Lawton.
Oh, Superman put on his cape and he started flying. Yeah. Love it.
I'm getting confused with baseball now too. Even though with the rise of Bryson Stott and other rookies on this team, Scotty Jetpack is a thing of the past. For sure.
Yeah. And Dylan was saying that the 2004 Cup run cemented my fandom. Flyers take the back seat. Ironically, my favorite Flyer wore number 12, Simone Gagne. Hey, there we go.
Awesome.
Gagne was my favorite too. There we go.
Oh.
That was oh boy, 2-on-1, not good. And a goal. God damn it.
Yeah, I got 1-on-1 with the goaltender on that 2-on-1 right through the 5-hole. Kind of hard for Hart to stop that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, look at that. It's a giveaway in the offensive zone. That leads to the rush. Yeah, pass it right out in front of net. No chance. 55 Meyer with the goal. But yeah, I mean, this time of year, at least you got baseball to heal the woes that is the Philadelphia Flyers, right, Maddie?
No, you're right. You're right. Hold on a sec, Rob. Be right back. I know. I'll be right back on that one.
No problem, brother. Carson Meyer there with the goal, making it 2-0 Blue Jackets with 6 minutes left to go in the first period. Zach Werenski with the primary helper there. Man, I've always sweated that defenseman. A mainstay on a lot of my fantasy lineups. He just offers that offensive punch that Shane Gostisbehere used to, but has the defensive chops to back it up. It was a great selection, and a selection the Flyers could have had, to be quite frank, as there's a delay call on the Columbus Blue Jackets right now. Flyers pull the goaltender 6-on-5. Yeah, we'll see if this entry actually works out, because several of the entries have worked out this year, right, fam?
Okay, back. Sorry about that. Had to grab something real quick there. Anyway,
No problem. Hopefully, I was doing a decent call there of the game. Not really my forte. Words. It's funny how I get in the radio business, but really, words aren't my friend.
No,
The written
I hear
word
you.
is.
Well, hey, listen, man. When you go to broadcasting school, you're really not going there to learn broadcast journalism. You're learning to go there to become a professional league bullshitter. I mean, that's what the goal is, basically, at the end of the day.
That's been my biggest takeaway since 2014. Yeah, agreed. Fake it until you make it.
I think we've been doing a decent job so far. I don't know. We'll have to ask the fam on that one. But
Just ask Anna Sorokin.
yeah. Let's see here. Rosca saying, "What's up, boys? WrestleMania 38 Night 1 and 2 Stone Cold. Dude,
that was impressive, man. I mean, I commented on In This Very Ring with Ritz and Butters on Saturday nights. They were obviously big weekend for them covering WrestleMania. Did a fabulous job. And I was like, that match was like 3 Goldberg matches put into one for a guy that's been away from the ring. So Stone Cold looked pretty damn good. Even took a bump out on the audience floor there. Nice suplex. I was surprised. I mean, I thought there would have been a little rough stuff with the show, but that turned out into a legit, 10-15 minute match, Matty?
Yeah, it was actually a pretty decent sized match. I thought it was going to be one of those quick moments where he was just going to give him a mud hole stomping and then a stunner, and then that was it. We were going to get the 3. But,
right. No, I couldn't agree with you. I mean, it was definitely a good surprise. I think it's for me, and I mean, of course, I'm going to tune in to WrestleMania. It was a big fantasy baseball draft weekend for me, so we had it on in the background. So I was going to pay attention, but I think that match, or what turned out to be a match, gave the edge to night 1 over night 2. I don't know. What's your opinion?
I think night 1 was better, honestly.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was Austin and Owens that gave them the edge. I actually felt it was Cody and Rollins that gave them the edge, honestly.
That match was a snooze fest for me.
Really? You weren't interested in it at all?
Not really. I mean, the notoriety, yes, and I loved Cody doing homage to the Dream, with the the punches and the the roll, the whole spiel like that. And I did like that, but no, too many false pins. You know what I mean? Like it didn't have to go that long, at all. They're just like it was way overplayed. And I don't know. I mean, just both of those guys, Cody and Seth Rollins, never did anything for me.
I can understand. I mean, there's a lot of people who are not huge Cody fans and are not huge Rollins fans. I mean, I like Cody Rhodes. I think he's a really talented wrestler. Rollins, I'm in and out on. Like, I feel like in certain circumstances he's really good, and then in others I'm like, he could be better. I mean, his wrestling ability never leaves. It's just everything around it just doesn't seem like it belongs there,
Yeah, I don't dislike either, but they just don't do anything for me.
I got you. Yeah. Oh, all right. So right now the Flyers are once
Oh,
again on
yeah.
the power play, but it's about 52 seconds left on it. Maybe the Flyers can do something here before the period ends.
Well, they've been the better of the play, minus those that turnover there that led to the second goal, and actually I was still sharing the show during the first goal, so truth be told, I don't know what happened there, but I'm sure it was a defensive breakdown. It's a safe bet.
Yeah. And then Vraska saying Ryan Getzlaf is retiring as an Anaheim Duck. If I don't know if he made that announcement, if he did, then good for him. He had a great career, won a Stanley Cup and everything. So,
Right,
and
right,
Getzlaf can be one of those few players that spent his whole career on one team. Troy saying, "Damn, Kingery fell off," and then he said, "Again."
right. Yeah, for sure.
And then Dylan said, #boom comeback season.
Yeah. No, I can see that too. Get a competition from Stott, you know what I mean? I think that both made the team as far as I know. So, Girardi's going to try to get both of them enough at bats to make it worth their while and not to be missing out on full time at bats per se in AAA. So, it'll be interesting. I mean, obviously the DH gives you a little more leeway this season.
That's true. That is true. That's going to be weird, though, seeing a DH in the NL. It's going to be strange. I mean, not to say that it wasn't going to happen. It's just,
Right.
won't it be weird, like for the first few, games in the
Uh,
season where, yeah.
I mean, we got a little taste of it, Maddie, in the 2020 short season, but not enough to take away that weirdness. You're right, because what you're going to be missing is the strategy that comes with the NL game and how the double switches and maximizing your lineup and your pitchers, and that balance. It's why the National League's always been the senior circuit, but eventually the game's got to grow. It's got to change. You know what I mean? You get more excitement. If you have guys that can stay, longer careers that could still hit the ball out of the ballpark, it's good for baseball in the end. So, plus, it benefits a lot of teams that are set up well for sporting a DH. And with the Phillies signing Nick Castellanos, that definitely made them officially one of those teams. But 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go here in the first period. The Flyers are keeping a strong offensive pressure. Just again, failing to get the puck on the net until it actually happens. What a laser goal. Was that Morgan Frost? Came in free in the
Ooh,
slot. Yeah,
I
Morgan
just
Frost.
saw it. Yes, nice goal.
Oh, no, pardon me. Noah Cates. There, you called it,
Oh,
dude. First career goal. All I saw was the 4. I thought it was 48.
yeah,
Well,
nice.
look at this move, man. Just getting free in the slot, deposit in the back of the net.
There it is.
Nice
Boom,
pass from Patrick
nice.
Brown, too.
Yep, Patrick Brown got loose with the puck. He got right from all the D-men. He found a perfect spot to slide the puck through. Found it to Cates. Cates comes right into the slot. He's not covered at all, and he just fires it right in on net. Gets it right by Merzlikins.
And that's what you want to see, man. And I'm over the depression. You know what I mean? Maybe Brian's in the depression. I'm over the depression. Now it's just about seeing these moments. You know what I mean? That are going to build the future of this organization. And I really have a lot of faith in the Cates connection between Noah and Jackson. I mean, Noah obviously is the more skilled player, and so far we're seeing that, Matthew.
We are, and I think Dylan has the best nickname, Noah Tasty Cates.
Copyright that shit, Dylan. You'll make some money.
Yes, you will. Yes, you
Go
will.
set up NoahTastyCakes.com right now. I'll even let you leave the show to do it and then come back.
Yeah. Oh, man. Hey, Bryce here. It's going, yo! What's up, boys? The way that it's supposed to be done. Although no one does it better than Brian. Brian is saying, yeah, Rosca is correct. Getzlaf has announced he is retiring. His last game, I believe, is April 24th. Well, congratulations to Getzlaf in having his
career.
Yeah.
98 shots on goal now for the Flyers.
Oh, wow.
Still 2-1 where it counts, though, on the scoreboard.
Yeah. But hopefully, with the momentum shifting into the Flyers' direction in this first period, maybe they can carry that over into the second. That would be nice.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Benny's Nation saying Kevin Long is going to help this lineup.
Yeah, he's a great pitching coach. I mean, hitting coach. I followed him in his years with New York, and he likes to keep it simple too. I mean, not to ignore analytics, but less thoughts roaming through your head while you're in the batter's box. The more you can just read the pitch and react. So Kevin's always preached that. So definitely, there's gonna be exciting things for this Phillies lineup. 30 seconds to go here in the first period. Still 2-1 Columbus as we move towards the first intermission. It's going to be cool, fam, is that during the first intermission, we're going to talk top players for the Flyers this year. Who did what performances, did you like this year that this team can build with moving forward? Now, we already talked about Cam Atkinson being a better leader on this club. And, he's definitely a piece, Maddie, that you can build with.
No, you're right. I mean, there's a lot going on the Flyers do have in terms of young talent. He's one of them. It's just, hopefully, there will be that focus of, all right, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it right this time. We're not going to half-ass it. We're going to spend our time on these kids. We're going to build them up right. We're going to train them right. And we're going to spend our time making sure that they're ready to go when the time comes. Not try and force it or try to rush them and then ruin them on top of it. Plus, then try to plug and play with veterans and have some mediocre success, but nothing substantial. So hopefully we learned from the sins of the past, hopefully.
Yeah, who's going to die for our sins here in the Flyers side of Philadelphia? That's what's going to be interesting. Will it be Mike Yao? Will it be Chuck Fletcher?
I'm thinking Mike Yao. I think Fletcher's got one more year before he's already on the hot seat, but I think he'll get one more season before any triggers pulled on him. But for Yao, I think it's Yao.
Yeah, I mean, him scratching Handle, I think, was the final nail on that coffin.
Yeah. All right. So the second intermission has officially arrived as the first period comes to a close. The Columbus Blue Jackets are up 2-1 in this game. And the first period sponsor is if you are looking to buy, sell a home or apartment, or as well as if you have a change of career in brokerage, Alan Follett at eXp Realty LLC is where you want to go. You can locate him at 302-682-8820 or visit him at alan.follett at exprealty.com. So that way, when you make this big step in life, you're doing it the right way. And you're not sitting there wondering how you got taken on a good deal or what seemed like a good deal. No, Alan Foy is going to make sure everything's done properly and taken care of for you. So go and contact him. All right. On to our topic here for the intermission, as you previewed for us. You teased for us there, Rob. And that is the best players this season for the Flyers. There are a few candidates to throw out there. I mean, you have some young pups that you could try and throw out there. There are some veterans as well. And I'll start things off, and I will say I think the best player this year for the Flyers, I would say it's probably, in my honest opinion, I think it's Atkinson. I think Atkinson really showed a lot of heart and a lot of passion for the team. If it wasn't going to be him, the other two candidates for me was Hart and Farabee, because I think they've shown me a lot. I mean, Hart, though, I feel it would have been an easy choice because poor Hart has had to deal with this bullshit for a good 2 seasons now, and I think he's probably getting pretty sick of it at this point. But he's still fighting as best he can, so I got to give him that. But I think Atkinson, I like what he was bringing to the table early on in the year, and unfortunately, the season's lackluster performances, unfortunately, did get him too, but he kept firing back. He never gave up, and he still hasn't given up, and he's trying to fight as best he can for the team. So I'm going to roll with Atkinson for this year.
Yeah, I like it, Matty. I mean, to the point before, like I said, it's a piece you can build with. He provided that, another player with, shoot first mentality, 23 goals, 50 points on the season. Both the 23 goals leads the Flyers by a healthy margin. For assists, is it Travis Konechny actually leading the team with 31 ahead of Atkinson? That's interesting. So I mean, you can give some love to TK. You obviously got to give some love to Claude Giroux, even though at this point, Godspeed. We'll talk about playoff favorite stories in the playoffs later, and I'm sure Giroux and the Florida Panthers will be one of them. Sanheim has shown some improvement in terms of jumping up on the rush and knowing when to do that and still be defensively responsible. I've seen improvement in his game, but I'm going to go off the board, Maddie, with this. And like you said, it is too easy to pick Hart, and it's not fair to pick Hart either, because if you're going to pick Hart as your the top player on your team, he would have had to still put out immaculate stats and getting the results despite the defensive breakdowns, and he's not doing that. You've seen glimmers of that, making the spectacular game-saving save, but not consistently, throughout the season. And I mean, a lot of that, is to blame by the defense. But enough beating around the bush. I'm gonna go Cam York is my favorite Philadelphia Flyer this year. Coming new on the scene, the adjustment that he's made to this league. A lot of guys, this game moves faster than they've ever seen on any level. And it just doesn't look like it is moving fast for him. He fits right in. He's going to be a great quarterback on this power play. I've liked his defense. I've liked his durability too. I mean, minus that one shot he took for the Phantoms that put him out for some tough, a few games there. He's shown some toughness and some snarl as well. And it's going to be exciting where that kid's career goes from here.
Yeah, I agree. I think that he's a very big bright spot for the Flyers in terms of young prospects. I mean, he's got that really good hockey sense. He's got that great defensive posture, but at the same time, he's also got a really good, vision for passing. He's got a really great vision for offense as well, and he doesn't skimp out on defensive efforts either. So, I mean, honestly, I really do like York as an all-around really good, solid defenseman, and I think he's going to be a really important part of the defense moving forward now that the Flyers are rebuilding here. And I think that will be, as long as, he might very well be NHL ready now from what we've been seeing from his performances. He may very well just be like, yeah, you know what? I think he's good enough to be on the team. I don't think we need to question that.
Yeah, especially the direction that the team's going to be going. There's no question.
Yeah, so let's see. Brian was talking about Ryan Getzlaf, that he's the longtime captain for the Ducks, and he spent his entire 17-year career with the team. Yes, he did. Dylan saying the best Flyers: Atkinson, Lawton, and Farabee. Giroux would be in there if he was still here. The worst, all the defensemen and JVR.
Dude, I was just going to ask. I was going to fire that question at Maddie if we still had time during the intermission. In terms of what was the worst, man? Glass half full, half empty. Over here. So, Maddie, what was your worst?
Mine is not JVR, because even though JVR is frustrating at times, he still managed to contribute decently enough. The worst is Provorov for me. Yep. It's Provy, 110%, not even a question about it. His performances this year have been piss poor, and his attitude about handling it has been even more piss poor. So it's Provorov, 110%. I was like, I don't give a shit that we drafted you in the first round. I don't care that you spent no years in the minors. I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, you need to fucking show up, and you need to start playing like you can. Like, you know what you're doing, because you've been here long enough. There's no excuse of, oh, well, I'm still young and learning. Bullshit. Like, I don't care whether you got rushed or not. Still, you have a chance to perform, and you do not perform. And then you bitch and complain about it. and you bitch and complain to other players about how they're not performing well, yet you'll still play like shit. Like, what? Like, don't talk the talk unless you can walk the walk. And apparently, Provy can't walk the walk, so why the fuck is he talking? You know?
1,000% agree with you. That's exactly who I had in mind. I mean, at least with JVR, he's had 17 goals on the season. 17 meaningless goals, but 17 goals nonetheless.
Yeah. But you're right. He has at least contributed offensively.
He'll contribute toward this team by building up his value in the offseason for trading.
There you go. We can live with that. At least he's trying to do that.
And you know, I've stood up for JVR, man. I mean, he is what he is on his career. I mean, he works hard. He does contribute in the areas that don't exactly show up on the score sheet. Yet, if the Flyers had a better team, he would have provided better value. You know what I mean? But it's like there's a lot of guys on this team that, you know, are really secondary players that has to be primary players.
Yeah, I agree. But hey, you know what? You gotta respond, and that's a response right there. You know.
Yes.
Let's see here. Bry saying his favorite and best Flyer is Cam Atkinson. So he agrees with me that I think the best Flyer is Cam. He's not my favorite on this team, but definitely I agree with him as the best Flyer this year. And his attitude has been positive, and he's always putting everything he can put on the ice. And I do agree with that. Troy's saying, I thought Provorov was traded. I wish. You know, no, he's still very much here, unfortunately. But let's see here. Dylan saying Lindblom had a comeback season, honestly, after last season. I agree. I think Lindblom has shown some fire back in him after bit of a rough go of it last year. I know that last year it was a little different because he was just coming off of his cancer, and he did play in the bubble, which was impressive all the same. But again, at the end of the day, I think he's shown up and he's trying to take that step forward and get himself better. I mean, he put more effort into it than fucking Nolan Patrick did. I can tell you that right now. Ugh. Talk about a wasting of your second round pick. It figures when the Flyers get a top 5 draft pick, they pick a fucking bust. Ugh. Definitely a far cry from Mel Bridgman. Anyway, so as we get ready to go into the second period, so far this game, it's been very solid period for the Blue Jackets at the beginning. Then the Flyers, through their power play, ironically enough, their really shitty power play, they managed to turn the tide of the game a little bit towards their favor. And they managed to get a goal very last minute. Maybe they can carry that momentum into the second period with them. That would be nice. Would be. But I don't know. Unfortunately, the Flyers have a habit of, being here 1 minute and then the next minute they're asleep at the wheel and allowing everything to get by them. So I pray that is not what we're going to see in the second period tonight. Dylan, Flyers should have sued the Leafs for trading for an injured Christopher Stieg. Oh, that's funny. The Flyers should have sued a lot of teams for just, fucking them over in a trade. But then again, whose fault is it? Is it the GM's fault, or is it the other team's fault? I mean, honestly, I will say this. If you get taken advantage of in a trade, that's on you, honestly. I can't sue you for that. It's like, not my fault. It's not their fault. I'm a dumbass. It's not my fault. It's not their fault at the end of the day. If you're a dumbass, you're a dumbass, and you're going to get taken advantage of in the GM world. That's how it works.
Pretty much.
Oh, man. I mean, literally, just ask Paul Holmgren. He got taken advantage of every day. Dylan saying, if Steve gets surgery, then he has a career year in Florida. Yeah, pretty much. But to be honest with you, Versteeg was so irrelevant when he was with the Flyers. I mean, he was there, and then he was gone. It's like, right. I forget sometimes Chris Versteeg was on the Flyers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's a dark period. That's a dark period for sure. Probably, you talked about never seeing this team with such a lowly power play last in the league. That might have been another time that it was darn near close to that.
True. Still, though, this team takes the cake. I don't know if that's an accomplishment, but goddamn.
You know it's a bad season, Maddie, when I'm at the stadium and I get so drunk that I pass out in my seat.
And the
True
game wasn't
story.
the game wasn't even good enough to keep you awake.
Nah, not even the whole. And there was probably a lot of goals scored by the opposition.
Oh, do you even remember what game it was you went to?
Well, it was all of them at that
Oh,
time. It was season ticket.
okay.
That was, I think, that was the very end. Me and my season ticket mate had an all-out brawl at the end of that season, and I haven't talked to him since, unfortunately.
Oh, well, that sucks.
That's that guy Don. Remember when we first met? I said you remind me a lot of him. I was
Yeah.
like, yes, I got a new improved Don.
Oh.
Younger model.
You traded in the old model for the new.
Not the kind of younger model I was hoping for, but it worked out.
That's why you don't make wishes with genies. When you say I want a younger model, then you leave that open to interpretation.
Hey brother, man. We've been doing this for a long time. We've been doing this podcast and now eventual show for a long ass time, man. So I probably had a longer relationship with you than most.
Oh, that's true, man. It's been going for a while, man. It's funny to think about it too, man. Ever since we've been watching the Flyers and doing this show, we've seen the Flyers just fuck up so bad. It's like, I don't know how we're all well, no, we're not sane. I don't know how people come back to us. I guess it must be our animal magnetism. I don't fucking know.
This would be where if Frank or Brodo were with us, they put up the Tracy Morgan gift going, nope.
Well, let's see here. Dylan's saying Christopher Stieg was great for the Flames, and Curtis Glencross is legend only to Calgary. Dude went to the Caps and sucked, then just retired. Yeah, well, you give your team some of your best years, and then you go to a new team, and you're like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, I'm just here for a paycheck. Anyway, Troy saying, me who grew up thinking the Phillies were a good franchise. Yeah, I'm a dumbass. Okay, so now my question is, Troy, how young are you? Because it must have been during that stretch when the Phillies were winning 5 straight NL East titles. It had to have been that period. Not a great time for you, Rob.
Not so much. Not so much.
Oh, but that's hilarious, though. That is actually funny. I think, what was his name? I think, Wheels. I think it was Wheels who said, so some people grow up thinking that the Phillies, all they do is win. It's like, boy, oh boy, are they wrong. The most losingest team in baseball ever. But hey, you know what, though? If I had to say, I do support the Phillies 110%. I may not follow them, but you know what? I support them because that's my family's team. And so, you know what? I don't care they're the most losingest team in baseball. I'm with them still at the end of the day.
Yeah, you're a local boy. You're a local man. Fucking 4-4.
Yeah. Yeah, if the Sixers were to win an NBA championship this year, I'd be happy for everybody. Even if I may not care about basketball at all, even remotely. Hey, I'm happy for the city. I'm happy for everybody. I'm happy for the fam. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for anyone who's supporting the Sixers.
Hey, I'm happy just for a party, man. I don't care what team wins. I'll be down there as Fat Green Man, rolling around, running down broad. That's what I always wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do, Maddie. Fucking, I've been talking about it ever since 2010. Just instead of doing the Green Man outfit, find one that's an all orange jumpsuit with the wig hair,
and just go down broad.
that even predated Gritty too.
There you go. You know what you could do? Maybe you could do that one of those 5Ks that Gritty does, and then just wear the orange suit doing that. I don't know. That might be an idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see here. Rosca saying Trish Stratus and Sasha Banks for WrestleMania 39. I don't know. I think Trish is done with wrestling. I think she did her last two runs. She did her bow. Although money talks and bullshit walks, so maybe they might knock on, call Trish's door or call Trish's phone and say like, "Hey, Trish, do you want to come back for another WrestleMania match? We'll offer you millions of dollars to, do the job for Sasha." You're like, "Okay, yeah, sure, why not? I got all this time to train for it. Sure, why not?"
Why the hell not?
That'd be my opinion at this point. If I was a WWE legend and Hall of Famer, if I got called, if I was able to get myself in pretty good shape and be able to, and like most things, if you have it trained into you, it's like muscle memory. You don't really ever forget it. You just got to get a little touch up here and there. Next thing you know, I would be like that if I was one of them. I'd be like, "Hey, you want to offer me millions of dollars to do a job for a young pup at WrestleMania? Fuck yeah! Just give me. I'm gonna get my ass in shape now." Oh, that must be nice. So we are at the start of the second period, folks. 2-1 Blue Jackets, and hopefully the Flyers can turn the tide here and put everything in there. Rosca. Trish versus Nadia Comaneci in gymnastics. I don't know about that one, but okay. All right, so our second period sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, it is All Campus. And listen, man, John Coyle, he's got a great shop down there in Ocean City. But not only that, too, he does host the Rant booth. And that's a lot of fun to go and watch. So you might want to check that out. They're giving off 20% off everything in the store on the hats, shirts, and the team cornhole sets to all the subscribers. So get subscribed up. You get 20% off. So, and check out down in Ocean City. Check out John's shop, All Campus, because you know what? It's a great place to get some of your stuff. You get your team colors and you wear them with pride. That's, and check out the Rant booth too. So definitely go down and check it out.
Columbus already had a nice rush here in the second period. Voracek making one of his classic circle-to-circle passes for a one-timer for Lane. Unfortunately, the pass kind of got up on his skates a little quick, kind of handcuffed him. Unfortunately for the Flyers, caused a wobbly puck to be saved by Carter Hart.
Already. Come on, guys. At least make it interesting. Well, very early in the second period here, so who knows? Maybe momentum can turn here on a dime. This is hockey, after all. So, not
to downplay the fact of winning, that also gives a player confidence to move forward, and make more of a mark on this team in the years to come. So you're playing for that. You're playing for pride, So I don't mind the end result if you get a higher draft pick, but I've always hated the journey getting there. Like you play a game to win. You don't play to lose. What does that say about you? You know what I mean? Like I've never enjoyed tanking.
No, I agree, and I don't really think that. Even back when tanking was common, I don't even think teams really tanked. I think it was just that they just put shitty players on the team. Like
they'd get on a losing streak and be like, "Oh, we were tanking." Foolproof excuse.
The organization may have been tanking, and that's why they did what they did, putting all the shitty players on the team and everything. Sure. The team itself was trying. It's a shame to watch the one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, but at least he's trying.
For sure.
Dylan saying Vegas will miss the playoffs and then magically win the draft lottery. Oh my God, if that happens, it's fucking rigged. There ain't no doubt in my mind then. No, we got to keep Vegas going. They got to stay in the playoffs. We got to prove that Vegas is a great market for hockey. So far it's been. We'll find out a lot if Vegas misses the playoffs this year, and if they wind up starting tail spinning and missing the playoffs next year and the year after that. We'll find out how if the fans are truly truly want a hockey team there. We'll really find out then. You know.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, we pointed out some chinks in that armor. Excuse the pun. Uh, this season, but this team really started going downhill when they fired Gerard Gallant. And brought in Peter DeBoer. It was a team that was doing well. I guess it was just a philosophical change that caused the firing, and Las Vegas's loss was New York's gain, doing a fabulous job with the blue shirts.
No, you're right. And I mean the blue shirts at this point, man, they're killing it. And they may very well turn into something real dangerous moving forward. And well, they are going to turn to something real dangerous. Oh, great opportunity there for the Flyers, but it did not go. But a penalty was called on the Blue Jackets, and I believe it is a hooking call that they made. So we'll see if Flyers should take advantage of that as they get their third power play of the game, by the way.
Well, that's been kind of the Achilles heel of this Columbus team, Maddie. A very undisciplined team takes a lot of penalties.
That doesn't surprise me because the coach of this team is a disciple of John Tortorella. And so we all know how John Tortorella is, and we all know how his coaching style works. It was great in the early 2000s. Like up in the early 2000s. But, this ain't the early 2000s anymore. This is the 2020s.
Yeah, you gotta adapt with the times.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see here. Flyers getting an opportunity here on the power play. Van Riemsdyk, Frost, Attard, Tippett, and Provy are out there. So let's see what we get.
I mean, good puck movement right now, but you got to get the seam-to-seam pass in order to pot a power play goal. Either that or you drive lanes and fire the puck from the net, which Provy tried to do there. Unfortunately, the puck was blocked, and the Columbus Blue Jackets cleared the zone with a minute 30 left to go on the power play, 15:45 to go in the second period. Frost rushes in, gets intercepted, and Columbus Blue Jackets clears. Another failed attempt on the entry by the Philadelphia Flyers. It's something they're really going to have to improve upon moving into next season because it's just something that they have not been able to get a hang of here. Decent entry now as Konechny passes the puck to nobody and it gets cleared. Minute to go left on the power play. But I mean, it'll be interesting to see who wants to step up on this team and be a leader. Obviously, we talked last week about, who, if any, do you give the C to on this team in, assuming that it doesn't happen at the remaining games left this season, but moving into next season, or do you just go with assistant captains for a while until one true leader steps up? That was sort of mostly our consensus here, but it'll just be interesting to see guys like a Scott Lawton, like a Kevin Hayes, like a Sean Couturier when he's back on the ice, what kind of leadership role that they try to absorb from the loss of Claude Giroux. I mean, you're not going to get that replaced this season. It's like a sore wound. It's not going to heal that quickly. But ultimately, there's some guys, that are on this, or current roster that could step up and be a leader for this team. There's also, the possibility of drafting. If you do draft a high draft pick, like a Shane Wright, like a Connor Bedard, do you give them the C right away? It's a lot of questions to answer for the Flyers as the time on the power play ends. 14 minutes left to go. Second period, still 2-1 Columbus. Scotty firing it on that, always firing it on that. Good things happen. Leads to an attempt by Owen Tippett, saved by Merzlikins as the game goes to commercial. You got Teddy chiming in here. Has a team ever done that? Not have a captain for multiple seasons? Yeah, absolutely. Maddie's other team, the Sharks, I believe, are a good example of that.
Yes. Took a minute. They then eventually settled on Logan Couture, which is understandable. They stripped Joe Thornton of the captaincy because they were not satisfied with his play. Then again, too, Joe Thornton was getting older. And unfortunately, that team had missed their window by that point. And I think that this season, there's more evidence to prove that this team missed its window. And I think, I don't know, the Sharks look like they might have really fucked themselves real bad. And it's like, oh, God. Oh, this is going to be like when the Sharks first showed up in the early 90s. There's going to be a shit team. And if anybody remembers that San Jose Sharks team, there really wasn't much to look at. Although, yeah, actually, like about 3 years later, they did manage to upset the Detroit Red Wings in the first round in 1994. So there was that.
Did when Stamkos was out during that first Stanley Cup run, did they give the seat to Hedman, or did they have no captain until he came back in the playoffs?
I don't think they had a captain. I mean, they officially, I think, made Hedman captain, but I think it was still Stamkos was wearing the C.
Gotcha. So that'd be a minor example of a team that did well, captainless, for a time period. I want to say Arizona went without a captain for a while. Something also wants to tell me Toronto did too. I was trying to think of, because I used to track the captains and assistants, and there's this great Wikipedia page that actually keeps track of it, and as well as if a team doesn't go with a captain, lists all of their associate captains that may wear an A from game to game. But yeah, I can't remember back that far, dude. Too many burnt brain cells.
Well, apparently Columbus is the second youngest team in the league. 26 years and 54 days is the average. The Flyers are 10th. 27 is the year. So, interesting little factoid right there to throw out.
Yeah, and they've gone down, obviously, trading Giroux, trading LeBron, trading Derek Brassard. Yeah. Because I believe they were higher up on that list in terms of being, the long in tooth.
Adam Modick. What's up, Adam? Saying, what's up, boys? Agree to the poll. I think this team would struggle with or without Jake. That's a good point. Dylan saying, Sharks can only beat the Flames. Yeah, for some reason, the Sharks have just been able to do that all year. Dylan saying, Damphousse was underrated. Yes, Vinny Damphousse was very underrated as a player. Yeah. And let's see. Joe saying, what's up? What's up, Joe?
What's up, Joey?
And Troy wanted to know if it was a violation that he wasn't watching. Honestly, no. It would be a violation if the Flyers were playing well. They're not. So it's like, it's all right, dude. You don't have to watch. Besides, you got us to react and tell you the score anyway. So there's really no point. And the Sixers are playing tonight anyway. So if you're going to watch a game, you might as well watch the team that's got at least still a shot to do something this year.
Yeah, I mean, you want to see those good moments that I was talking about, but I ain't going to hate you, Troy. Matter of fact, I'll be honest. I mean, I pride myself as a hockey analyst. I didn't watch the Ranger game on Sunday night. It was a fantasy baseball draft, so I was kind of zeroing in on that. And, I mean, of course, I go back and watch the highlights, get a sense of the game or what have you. But it's tough, man. It's tough, when your team's long out of the playoff race. It really doesn't give you, anything to look forward to. It makes this job tougher too. The ratings maybe don't take a hit because people love to complain and vent. That's what we're here for.
If anything, they might improve.
Yeah. True story.
Oh, Joy saying, good, I'm playing Red Dead. Ah, okay. Yes, enjoy Red Dead. Wait, are you playing Redemption or Revolver? Because there are two games. Although, if you want to play Red Dead Revolver, you got to go back to the PS2 era. But, blast from the past. Anyway, Ted saying, I was looking at a poll on Twitter, worst contracts. Do you guys think Risto is a bad contract? Honestly, no. I know a lot of shade gets thrown at Risto, and I get it. The analytics sides of things really dog him. But at the same time, I think his game has improved since coming to Philadelphia. I think he has been contributing offensively, and I do think he's better defensively than he was in Buffalo. I think a lot of the issue a lot of the issues revolving around him are more of a mirror of the team and more necessarily than Risto. Because I mean, his defensive partner as well has not exactly been thrilling at times, so that doesn't help anything. And yeah, Risto has had his moments where he has been out of position. There was times where he chose a bad choice. God, my grammar was really terrible in that sentence, wasn't it? But he made
Sound
a
good
bad,
to me.
yeah, he made a bad decision. I'm surprised you said that as an editor. But he made a bad decision a few times, going for a hit every now and again. But I think Risto has improved. I don't think it's a bad contract. I think it's more of a reflection on the team more than himself.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've seen a lot of good things. He brings an element to this Flyers club that was not there. And I mean, I know me and Swoopy here have certainly disagreed in terms of, how he steps up at the line versus peeling back on the line and allowing that rush to come to him. But I think he uses his physicality well. Has he made mistakes? Sure. But you know what, man? I've been watching this team for a long time. You all think Eric Desjardins a great defender, right? There was times where he got beat. All the best ones get beat on occasion. I'm not saying Risto's the best one, but you got him for 5 years, 25.5 million, 5 million annual average value. I don't mind that AAV at all. The 5 years, yeah, maybe I would have preferred 3 to 4 years, but you want to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs, and Risto breaks some eggs. He consistently leads this team in hitting, and I think, like to your point, Maddie, as more of the younger pups get solidified and you bring in more talent around him, he could be a really nice piece that you build with.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
you gave up a high draft pick to trade for him. So the contract, I think, validated, I should say. Now I can't speak. The contract.
I got you. Yeah. And by the way, that sounded great.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I can't speak. How am I going to judge you? You know what I mean?
That's all right. Let's see. We Americans think we know how to speak English. We don't. we bastardized it. Anyway, Ted saying Sixers up 82-59 at half. Nice.
Smoke that ass. Love it.
Roscoe saying, do you think Vegas Golden Knights will be relocated? No, absolutely not. I think relocation worries went away the moment that the Golden Knights made it to the Stanley Cup Finals in their first year in existence. It would take a really terrible ownership mistakes, like a real bad bust in whatever market or whatever business that the owners are in. That would be the only way I could see that happening. And even then, Bettman has been sold on keeping teams where they are. And, I mean, look at what he's done for Arizona. He has fought tooth and nail to keep them in Arizona. So I could see the same thing with the Golden Knights. That I wouldn't worry about a relocation on their side.
Nah, they do too much good attendance out there. Now with the Raiders being out there as well, building up that sort of like sports complex, if you will. As long as the money is to be made, even if they should have some down years, Maddie, I think it's a lock.
Yeah, absolutely. I've even heard rumors on the baseball side of things that the A's might be moved there, only because their stadium is in such piss poor shape and the city doesn't want to pay for a new one, which I don't blame them. I've heard Oakland is not a nice place. It's pretty run down, and they don't have money to really take care of the community, let alone a freaking stadium for the A's.
Yeah, truth be told. Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. You have Vegas literally winds up snagging teams from 3 of the 4 major leagues. So now all that's left to do is to find a basketball team and relocate them. And then there you go. Vegas got an expansion team in hockey and took 2 teams from 2 current leagues and pulled them to Vegas.
You know what? I'm going to give my hot take early on the show tonight, Maddie, because I didn't have one. And this one's very apropos. My hot take is that the Oakland, it will be the Vegas Athletics. Maybe they even change the name, but they will move there in the next, say, 5 to 10 years, and at that time, their prize free agent signing will be an aged Bryce Harper.
Oh, there you go. That's a
So he
big hot take.
yeah, because he's from Vegas, so he could play, in front of his home crowd before he calls it a career.
I see. Interesting. I found out too that I think either I am the same age or he's a year older than me. So, boy, oh boy, it'll be very interesting to see when that contract ends. I mean, obviously, I don't think I'll be famous, but it'd be funny to
He's
see.
29 now. He's 29 now, and he's a 13-year deal was signed in what was it? Was it in 20? No, that could have been 2022. When was that signed?
No, I don't think it was 2020. Wasn't it 2 years ago?
Yeah, exactly. It's sometimes, what's clever, what online article writers will do is they'll keep on bumping up their timestamp to stay up in current trends and shit like that. But it's a false.
It is a false narrative. Do not follow.
Yes. Yes.
A false prophet, if you will.
Isaiah or Elijah, I mean.
Troy
I can't remember his name. Elias. That's what his name is. Elias.
Oh yeah.
Elias got straight up replaced with
Bogues.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bogues, I don't know if anyone out there's played Borderlands, but you know what? By the way, Tiny Tina's Wonderland is a fucking amazing game, so go check that out.
2032. Bryce Harper will be an unrestricted free agent, so in 10 years, the Athletics will be out there. He'll be 39 years old, and he'll play his age 40 season for the Las Vegas Athletics.
All right, then. There you go. They'll trade the current Philadelphia team for a former Philadelphia team.
Yeah, that is correct. That very astute, Maddie. Very astute. I actually wrote about that in my baseball column this week. I kind of took a look back into the history of that. Let me bring that back up again. Actually, I'll.
It's actually cool too because if you go, oh, there we go. Flyers just tied the game. Nice.
Yeah, they did.
And I believe
that happens when you ignore it a little bit and you stop watching.
Yep. It's like when we call them out. We call out a specific player and then they shove it up our ass by scoring a goal. It's like, good. That's what we want to see. We want you to, shove it up.
Nice deflection up front. That JVR, the guy we were picking on.
Yeah,
that was an important goal. That was an important goal, but nice shot from the point from Atard.
So a goal for James Van Riemsdyk. Ronnie Attard getting the assist as he set that up from the point. And there we go. Things change at the drop of a dime here in the NHL. And the Flyers have now tied this bad boy up.
So dig this, right? So
yes.
Basically, the Phillies and the Athletics shared this town from 1901 to 1955, right? The rivalry was significant not only because both teams played in Philadelphia, but because of the strong competition between the National and American leagues. The competition between the leagues was so strong that the A's and Phillies did not play at all from 1901 to 1902 because of legal warring like what we're seeing in the Ukraine right now between the two parties.
Interesting. And then eventually that led to Connie Mack taking that team and moving it.
Yeah, I think they went to Kansas City at first before they went out to Oakland, if memory serves me correctly.
I can't see that. Maybe that's just because the Royals are so entrenched in there that I could never imagine seeing a team called the Kansas City Athletics. But that's just me.
Is there a team called the Vegas Renegades? Because that would make for a good baseball name.
That's not a bad name. That's right? A good name too. And I think that logo would obviously be an R. That's the only league that I think like most of the teams, if not all the teams, should have the letter of the team be their freaking logo because it just looks good on a baseball cap. Honestly, it really does.
Oh, that's where I think I got it from. I think it's actually a minor league affiliate already.
Gotcha.
Twitter now, if Twitter ever wants to cooperate. I hate Twitter.
That's a very tough thing to ask it to do, by the way. And Bryce was 26 when he signed with us, Troy was saying. And then Brett Wyatt, what's up, Brett? Saying, let's go. Obviously referring to the Flyers scoring that goal and tying things up. You damn right, let's go. See the Flyers win a game live. For once, would be nice to see on these reaction shows.
Oh, it's a 13 and up travel baseball team out of Vegas. Yeah. MLB can buy that. They can buy that name.
They could buy it for like they could probably buy it for like $100. Right. Yeah, they probably don't even need to spend any money. Like 50 cents would be enough to buy that, honestly. Troy saying, I do that with Furkan all the time. Oh, funny. That's a good one. And Joe's saying, is this the first show for you guys since the Yandle benching? It is.
It is, and yeah, we definitely went off earlier on that, Joe. I mean, that's certainly the final nail in the coffin for Mike Yao. There's no chance he returns with this team. Just an absolute dumb move. I mean, in case you didn't hear us, you're just joining us, anyone out there, this isn't a sport that's about individual accomplishments. It's about the team. It's a team-oriented sport. Get that. But this is a guy, on a team that is going nowhere, and sure, he's playing dog piss hockey, probably maybe the worst of his career, but he's continually setting that benchmark, maybe even trying to get to 1,000 games, which would be a hell of an accomplishment and a hell of a moniker, as an NHL player. And you healthy scratch him to bring up a young one. This is the time to see what you got with the young ones, but why are you not healthy scratching Nick Seeler there? And having him at least learn from Yandle. Yandle might not be playing well. Doesn't mean that he doesn't know how to teach this game of hockey. Be a great guy to, be a mentor for a tard. And you scratch and you break up that streak. It was just an absolutely poor decision. And they immediately corrected it. But it's gone now because you broke up the streak. But you're seeing that formation tonight. And I'm not sure if they did it in the Ranger game. Like I said, I didn't watch that game. But I don't know, and Matt, you expressed your opinions before too, but it's just another dumb move in a series of dumb moves that we've seen from this organization.
Yeah, I mean, my personal opinion earlier on in the show, I just didn't, I hate to say, like, I hate to be not all so compassionate about it, but I just didn't care, honestly. It's like, this team is shit. I don't care. And I don't want to say that in the sense of like, oh, well, Yandle doesn't deserve it. Because Yandle does, because he has had a great career, even though he's played like shit this year, which is, I think, along the lines of what you were saying, Rob. But, I mean, honestly, I honestly didn't care. I really didn't give a shit.
Hey, maybe they were back to the corner. I mean, is there a rule that I don't know about that maybe you couldn't have scratched Sealer or else you'd have to waive them? I mean, that might have been in play. It might have been a contract situation in order to be under the cap at that given day, at that given time. There might have been more of a business element to that. And Yandle was just like, look, I already set the record. No big deal. He put on 20 plus games on top of that. Maybe he signed off on it and, bygones be bygones. But I just don't, I mean, to my point though, don't you think Attard's going to learn more from Keith Yandle than he is from Nick Seeler or Connaughton?
Probably. I mean, it would obviously be the case. And I definitely would agree with you there. He would learn more. I just think that I guess the team just felt they were just not a big fan of Yandle's play, and they just decided, you know what, screw it. Like we were, like you, like I guess they just felt like, okay, well, if we're gonna scratch somebody, it's gonna be them. Right. And I do hear what you're saying though, Rob, with the whole like, well, why didn't you just scratch Sealer or somebody else? You know what I mean? Like, I get that. I do.
Well, Maddie, it's akin to when they waived Jerry Mayhew. Right. Yeah. And a lot of people attacked the organization at that. And I didn't really half mind that. And I get it. He was playing better than other guys on this team. But contractually, business wise, he's the guy that you got to waive if you got to waive someone. Yeah. You're not going to build with him in the future. He's a journeyman in this league. You know what I mean? Those are the type of players that you need to shed. Now, it'd be nice to get something for him and not just lose out on him. And I get that element of the criticism, but people saying like, oh, they should waive JVR and not Jerry Mayhew, get a clue. Like that doesn't work like that. It'd be great if you could. You know what I mean? It'd also be great if every fantasy league I was in had no rules, because then I
would, yeah, I agree. And again, it's what happens when you have to make a tough decision. And that's what it was. It was a tough decision at the end of the day. I mean, again, though, if he ain't making a big deal about it, then it's no big deal.
Que sera, but we move on.
Yes.
Like I mean, if it helps the Flyers make the right decision and hiring a new coach, and I get it. I mean, many people have both, in the A2D family, everyone here is A2D family, but both on staff as well as commenters alike, have said that this organization's run all wrong, and you just can't keep on doing it the same old way and expect different results. But here we are.
Yep, here we are. The pure definition of madness. You will not find words. You will find a logo of the Flyers. And that's just how it's been for a long few decades now. Like I said, they haven't really built a team from scratch since the 80s. And that was because they wound up getting a bulk of a lot of those players through the drafting, from players like Dave Poulin and Brian Propp. I mean, Mark Howe was a trade, but they also drafted Tim Zezel and Rick Tocchet.
Right.
Right. So you're talking about a mostly drafted Flyers team that turned out to be one of the best teams the Flyers ever had. Right. They drafted Ron Hextall too. So when you think about it, it's like that was also the closest the Flyers ever got to getting the cup again, because they were one win away from beating the Oilers.
True.
So again, goes to show, if this organization does decide to take that road of building its team up, they have gotten good results in the past. I don't see what the big deal is, of them trying to do it again.
But to my point, though, is that they constantly rotate, it's a turnstile for the coaching here.
Oh,
you know what
yes.
I mean? Yeah, and you're expecting different results. When you don't stick with one guy for a while, get that. But when you don't have the right guy, you could do more harm than good. To our organization, and moving forward, Yao's clearly not the guy to move forward with this team. And there's a lot of meat out there. We've talked about it on past shows. You know what I mean? So get her done, Chuck. Get her done.
Yeah, big time. Troy says we need a team in Antarctica. I don't know if he means baseball or if he means hockey, but either way, sure. Dylan saying Cleveland Spiders greater than the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah, I saw that comment before. I'd agree with you, Dylan, but they probably didn't go that way because it might raise some gang activity in Cleveland. You know what I mean? Spiders. But I like that. That's a better name, though.
We got Pete saying evening. What's up, Pete?
What's up, Pete?
Joe saying Phil Kessel only 31 games from 1,000 straight active. Nice. And then
Yeah, exactly. So that's another point with the Yandel, because he's close there. It's not like no one's even within earshot of the Iron Man streak. You know what I mean? So he could easily retake them. Next season.
Yeah, that's true. But hey, you know what? What are you gonna do? Records are meant to be broken, right? Except for Gretzky's assist record. That's probably never getting broken. But his scoring record is, though. Joe then goes on to say, Flyers were also the first expansion team to win a cup. That they were. And that was another team that was built through the draft. I mean, again, different rules applied back then, drafting-wise, and the league was a lot smaller in the 70s, and it was pretty small still compared to the way it is now in the 80s, because I think there was 27 teams in the league at that time. Not even that. I think it was maybe 24 teams. It was not a really huge league, even in the 80s. So it wasn't until the 90s when they started to do some more expansions, and then the early 2000s as well. But that's also because, hockey did gangbusters in the 1980s because it was such a strong, profitable era that all of a sudden they're like, hey, yeah, we got all these other markets we can go into. And
Right.
then they switched to the American dollar, and a lot of teams disappeared too on top of it. Sorry. Good. Went off.
Nice offensive rush, man.
I just saw it. Yeah. A nice shot of the puck. Tried to smack it right through Merz Lincolns, but he just got in position in time.
Yeah, Flyers really moving the puck around well here. What a shot.
Yeah.
Even better save from Lincoln's for on
Oh, yeah. Oh, my Lord. What a beautiful play by Hayes. Just deking through. Got it to Atkinson. Atkinson hurled a shot, but I got to give Merz Lincolns credit, man. He really had to stretch for that one, but he got it, though.
I think Goldfist got a piece of that. Yeah.
Still, though, impressive, though, because that would have gone in on net had he not at the last minute moved his arm down.
Oh, there's still a fair amount of pace on that shot, despite the deflection. Yeah, absolutely.
Elvis is 1-1-1 against the Flyers. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, that was an interesting stat. I kind of missed it. It flashed on and off before I could actually register it. But what I will say, Maddie, is they did take that momentum from that late goal in the first period and carried it into the second period and continued to dictate the course of play. As of right now, 12.3 seconds left. I want to knock on wood. The only goal scorers in this period, and this is where you can take advantage of a team that played last night. There's definitely an opportunity as we wind down here in the second period, but man, they tried. Flyers were trying to give up a late goal, but it did not happen.
Thank God. At least the Blue Jackets decided, no. We're not going to take advantage of you in the second. We'll take advantage of you in the third.
Yes.
There's any Taco Bell nacho fries burrito on August 10th on my college life cuisine.
Oh, hey now. That's what's up.
Hey, listen, man. Nothing comes in the clutch like a good Taco Bell. A little run to the border. Next thing you know, you're also running for your bathroom. But
I know that's right.
I've said this before, though. I had this conversation with somebody at work. I said, you know why Taco Bell exists, right? It's just to clean out your colon. That's the whole reason why it exists. No other reason whatsoever.
It is. It does expel that pretty good. It does expel that really, really good. But you know what? Let's not give love to a company that gives us zero money. Let's give love to a team that sponsored our third period tonight, and that's FanUp. It's the best way to enjoy fantasy sports, daily NBA contests, and more. You win great prizes. Sign up today. Use promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points. It's a $50 value. FanUp.app. Go sign up right now.
Absolutely. And remember what I said earlier about the Money Pop podcast and Willie Vegas? If you're taking some of their advice, it's not just BetUS. It's also these guys over at FanUp. You can utilize that knowledge and get paid to be an A2D member as well when you use it.
Yeah, get into the DFS play, get into, I don't know if they have like some cut lines. I've been playing lots of some draft and hold, some cut lines. Just did a biggest fantasy baseball contest of my life, Maddie. The online championship for RotoWire. It's not even about the money. I just want to win.
That's all that matters at this point. It's like a gambling addiction. It's not about the money. I just want to win.
Just got news from my boy Jorge Pucks. Hughes out for season.
Oh.
Wow. Which Hughes he's speaking of.
Yeah, that's a good question. Which Hughes? Yeah. But still, though, that's it's big news. That's big news right there. Let's see.
That would be Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's just not good news for the Devils on that one. And Joe saying, Rob, you ready for opening day? Sorry to hear about DeGrom again.
I appreciate that, brother. Yeah, man. It's like, it's another another Christmas day during the year. We get a few of them, and opening day is definitely one of them. I'm hoping that the Mets actually start Tyler McGill, who was a solid arm that really ate up a lot of innings when he hadn't thrown a lot of innings in his professional career, and really just came out of nowhere to have dynamite stuff. It'd be a great Cinderella story for him to be the opening day pitcher. But no matter what your fandom, it's a great time of year, man. I just, the tournament came to an end last night. Baseball would have actually already been going had, the powers that be in Major League Baseball not drag their ass and got a deal done in time to start the season on time. But hey, it's better than at least we got a full 162, right, Joe? So it's gonna be a great season. It's gonna be a tough NL East. I mean, you think about like the Braves, coming back defending champs. Phillies. We talked about their lineup. Will they be able to pitch enough? I think so, because there's some good arms now in that rotation. You got Ranger Suarez, who's now that much more further stretched out and put up dynamite stats. For you guys, Zach Wheeler, potential Cy Young candidate. Aaron Nola needs to take that next step. I think if he can and be a little bit more consistent, and you get some better pitching in the Phillies bullpen, which they brought in some names, Brad Hand, Jerry's Familia, who I'm obviously familiar with. When that guy's sinker is working, he is untouchable, and he has long stretches of that where if you're a smart manager like Joe Girardi is, you can get a handle on that. He could be a nice weapon in that bullpen, along with Sir Anthony and Corey Knebel, who I believe is your guys' closer. We need a baseball show on the station. Let's go.
We do. It's every other show but ours.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I think football gets the most love, and second to the basketball.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, hey, you know what? It's not. I mean, you could always ask this gentleman.
The niche shows, Maddie. It's all about the niche shows. See, I say the word niche show, and look who comes about.
What's up, brother?
I'm telling you, Matt, Tommy, I got the name of the show for the all MLB show. You're in you're in the batter's box or batter's box. Just call it batter's box and start it. You're in the batter's box. Let's go. Let's go. So excited. I'm shaking my damn fucking web camera.
Rob, how come you're not in our marketing department?
Because I'm not.
You should be after that. You sold me on that.
I pretty much do everything for 3 months until I lose attention span.
Okay.
Tommy will back me up on that. No, it's
that's all right. ADD is a bitch, man. It happens. Yeah.
Si, senor.
What's up, Chucks? Let's see here. By the way, Jesse does go on to say, what happens after my Taco Bell is the uni of Colorado's problem, not mine. And then Joe also says, in a few years when we hit Demolition Man years, Taco Bell wins the fast food chain wars and Taco Bell runs the world. Jesse also says, Tampa versus Avs for the Cup final. Interesting. That'd be a fun Cup final. See, Jesse showing his sports love here. Number one is football for him, then baseball actually, then basketball, then hockey in this city. But for me, it's okay, I see. So hockey's number one outside of Philadelphia. Football's number two. Or no, they're both 1A, 1B. And then 2 is basketball and 3 is baseball. Interesting. Dylan saying, random hockey player of the day, Jamie Langenbrunner. Oh, Jamie Langenbrunner. You talk about a guy I wish had played on the Flyers. Unfortunately, never did. He had to have played on, of course, he played on the Devils, and he was a very big contributor to the New Jersey Devils and the teams that were competitive for cups. And then also he was a part of the Dallas Stars. I think he was on that 99 team, but I could be wrong on that. I think he was. Roscoe saying Joe Thornton and Claude Giroux will win this year's Stanley Cup championship with the Florida Panthers. I know, that'd be nice. It'd be a double whammy for me. Joe Thornton, the former captain of the San Jose Sharks, and Giroux, the former longtime and longest running captain for the Flyers. That'd be nice. That'd be very nice to see them win a cup with the Florida Panthers. It'll be weird that the Florida Panthers have won a Stanley Cup. I mean, very fucking weird. But hey, you know what? I'll take my wins wherever I can get them. And yes, I will count that as a win because have you seen this Flyers team? I desperately need wins anywhere I can. Ugh. Anyway, so with the second period coming to a close, we go into our third intermission. And the third intermission, basically right now, kind of taking a look at what's going on around the league and seeing what major things are happening at this point. You know, Dylan Flames will win the cup, then I'll be deceased.
It's always the way, right?
Yeah. All right. And then Jesse saying NHL playoff has a better product than MLB and the NBA, but just not marketed nearly as well. Actually, not even in the same league. That's true. I think the NBA and the MLB really do have some strong marketing there. But I think a lot of that's also because for some reason here in the States, the NHL kind of gets put into the corner and said, yeah, you can have that corner, but the NBA and the MLB are literally fucking everywhere. You can't escape it.
I was listening to you, Maddie. I didn't realize that it would be a double whammy with Thor. That's a great playoff story right there. Florida Panthers were to win.
I see what you did there. So that's what we're going to be talking about here in the second intermission here. So we'll talk about our best playoff stories. And I do agree.
Maddie, real quick, before we dive into them, I'm going to give a quick scoring update around the league.
Sure.
We got the Sabres up 2-1 on the Carolina Hurricanes. End of the second period. Obviously 2-2 here. Blue Jackets and Flyers. Maple Leafs 5, Panthers 3. 5 minutes to go in the second period. What a barn burner. Two of the top scoring teams in the league. Avalanche 3-2 on the Pens. End of the second period. Also at the end of the second period, Rangers 2, the Jack Hughesless Devils, as we learned during the show, for the remainder of the season, 1. So it's a 2-1 score. End of the second as well. Senators 3, Canadians 3 in the toilet bowl. Bruins, this is a good game. You know, certainly Don, I'm sure, tune into this. Bruins 2, Red Wings 1, 14:20 to go in the second period. Preds up 2-1 as well over the Minnesota Wild. That's early in the first period. Actually, 4 minutes left to go in the first period. And 4 minutes into the first period, just getting underway, Dallas Stars and the New York Islanders. That's going to have some playoff ramifications that we'll get into here in a second. And then lastly, we have Matty Sharks hosting the Edmonton Oilers at 10:30 p.m.
We'll probably lose that game because we've been losing almost every fucking game. So going down the wire here. Although we did win, we won one game against we beat the Ducks. The Kings. It was the Kings. But anyway, one win in like the last 5. Did I mention that the Sharks fucked themselves? But anyway.
When it rains, it pours, brother.
Unfortunately, and it is raining on me hard right now, let me tell you. All right, then. So we go into our playoff stories. Dylan saying ESPN has done a better job of marketing, but MLS has passed the NHL in viewership in the States.
Wow.
Yeah, I've also heard that NASCAR gets more viewership in certain areas in the country than NHL does, which, again, a lot of that is bullshit, but what are you going to do when hockey is known as Canada's thing, not really the States thing? That does happen, unfortunately. Joe also saying NHL died when they dropped ESPN 18 years ago or whatever it was. Now that ESPN is back, I see hockey eventually getting back to its glory of the 90s. Hopefully, because they were really strong in the 1990s.
I think being part of the streaming service and that wave too will help the NHL with ESPN Plus.
True.
As much as it might annoy us at times.
A little bit. Just a little. Local blackouts, go fuck yourself. Dylan saying Flames will beat Brian's Ducks tomorrow and then lose to Matty Sharks.
Lock it up. Lock it up.
There's Dylan's hot take of the week right there for us. Although I don't know if it's as much of a hot take as I think. All right, let's see here. Pull up the current playoff picture here in the NHL. We'll talk about some of these stories that we got. Obviously, the Panthers are one of them. They would be, if I had to choose which story I'd love to see come true, it would be that one because, like we had said, Thornton on one side and Giroux on the other. It's like, well, fuck. I mean, I can't really argue against that of being the team that I would like to see win the Cup. Do I think they will? Oh, that's a different ballgame. But, I wouldn't mind it. It's weird that I got to root for a team that's in a place that really doesn't give a shit about hockey. But, it is what it is. You take whatever the wins you can get.
Well, they're off to a good start, Maddie, being the only team in the NHL that has clinched a playoff berth at this juncture with 102 points on the season. 2 behind Colorado Avalanche, but ironically, they have not clinched a playoff spot yet. I don't know how.
I guess it's just how close the division is. That would be the only way I could see it.
Is NHL tardy on this?
They might be.
Either that or maybe there's some more games in hand situation. Yeah, 68, 69. Some of these teams maybe had a little COVID pause earlier on in the season.
Yeah, there were a few. I think the Panthers were one of those teams that got hit with a little bit of a pause. See, Dylan's saying it'll be opposite now that I said it. So let's see here. We have on the one side of things, we got the Hurricanes. I mean, the story of the Hurricanes is pretty straightforward. This is a team that for a while was just bad. And then they started to rebuild themselves slowly but surely, and we're really starting to see the fruits of that rebuild finally come. Also, it was a team that was not drawing and was really losing money hand over fist. But then they rebranded. They got new owners. They got new jerseys. And then on top of it, they started becoming a bunch of jerks and started having the fun, silly celebrations that they have at the end of every one, which have been classic. But, all of that has led to really a rebirth of the Carolina Hurricanes. From a team that had a lot of promise when they first moved down to Raleigh. They wound up drawing a good audience because the team was pretty solid, and they wound up winning a cup down there. But then things started to tip off and fall apart. Now they're back, and they're back with a vengeance big time because they want it.
Get ready, get set, dodgeball. The dodgeball celebration is freaking awesome. Awesome.
I got to give them credit, though. Their marketing department I think they win the marketing award in the NHL. They really know what the fuck they're doing down there in Raleigh. And Tom Hedrick saying, I need the Stars to take an L tonight. Oh, boy. Well, we'll see if they will. I mean, the Stars do have a habit of being streaky. So,
yes, they do. Because that was certainly a story that I wanted to point out over in the West, man. You still have Dallas hot on the tails of the Vegas Golden Knights. It's going to be it's going to be interesting. You know what I mean? You see, it's certainly a couple good games of the week too involving the Dallas Stars. But yeah, no, 1 point behind the Vegas Golden Knights right now. So with Vegas off tonight, they could leapfrog them into that second and I believe Tom is a Vegas fan. So, we'll root for you. We'll root for a Dallas loss for you tonight. That's never a problem here at A2D Radio, right? Rooting for Dallas to lose. But
against it.
But I mean, on top of that being a good story, how that shapes out for me. One of my big stories to follow is Edmonton finally going to do something in the playoffs? They're in a position right now. They're third in the Pacific. 6 points behind the Calgary Flames for first, 1 point behind the Kings for second. They can still improve their positioning. McDavid's on a tear, as we'll get into in the shootout section. But, can they finally make a run with the NHL's best player? That'll be a good story to follow.
Yeah, absolutely would be. I mean, you have, like you said, you have the best player in Connor McDavid, and you've won one playoff series in your entire time with Connor McDavid.
Right.
One. So, and you embarrassed yourself big time last year by getting swept by Winnipeg. So definitely a rebound story if I've ever heard one. They need to win in the first round. And to piggyback off that, before I get to that, though, Dylan saying Flames still have 3 games in hand over the Kings and the Oilers, who are behind them because of the COVID pause. Flames also lost Sean Monahan for the season as he's getting surgery on his other hip. Ooh, hip surgery. Yeah, that put Ray Emery on the shelf for a long time. The late, great Ray Emery. It almost ended his career, too. But to piggyback off of your Edmonton story, mine will be look at Toronto. Toronto's in the same boat. You know, you have Austin Matthews. Even worse, though, because they've never won a playoff series with him. How many times they gotten into the first round and how many times have they fizzled out? Every single time. And it's getting to the point where it's a comedy of errors, or it's just, you know what you're going to get from Toronto. You're going to see them get off to a good start and fuck it up and get themselves eliminated somehow, some way. It's just without fail. Last year, it seemed like they were finally going to break that and win themselves around, and they didn't. They still lost to Columbus, and last year, Montreal. Sorry, got that mixed up. They lost to Montreal. They had them down 3-1, and they let Montreal get back in that series and win it. It's like, how do you fuck that up? How? I know there are plenty of teams that have done that in history, and they're not getting a pass either because you look right at them and say, how the fuck do you make that mistake? But goddamn, guys, you have one of the best players in the league. He might be the second best player in the entire world right now, and you're fucking up this bad. Jesus. Yep. Dylan saying Edmonton has to win by outscoring their opponent. They also only win if they get a power play. Their defense and goaltending are terrible, and that's what will cost them. If the refs keep their whistles in their pocket, the Oilers will be swept first round. So you're thinking a repeat, another sweep for the Oilers right out of the playoffs. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, geez, there's a congruency there to the Flyers where, geez, that statement could have been said about the Oilers, for the past 5 seasons?
Pretty
8
much.
seasons? You know what I mean? Like, they keep on going to the same well, expecting a different drink.
Yeah, they do. They do. I don't understand. Why do they think it's the 1980s? It's not. Like, I know you had to pay McDavid and Draisaitl a lot of money, but you gave yourself no fucking room to actually build your defense and build your goaltending. So you fucked your team, essentially. Right. Right now, third period has started, by the way, folks. Still tied at 2 and just getting going. But another story I'd like to highlight is the Kings. A team that was rebuilding, was pretty bad for a period of time, and finally, that seems like it's paying off. The young pups are playing real well. The veterans are finding that old swagger from back in the day when they were winning cups. Does Quick have another one in him? I don't know. I know they've been going to Pettersson a little bit more, which is understandable. But at the same time, are we seeing a Kings team that could shock the world and win another one? I mean, that'd be a nice kick right in the crotch to San Jose and Anaheim for them to win a third one just right the fuck out of nowhere. And this one would be right the fuck out of nowhere. But it's a big story. It's a story of a team that's building itself up for the future, has still some of its old veterans from the glory days. Do they have another one in them? Do they have another run in them? And do the young pups have enough in the tank to make it happen?
Yeah, man. I mean, Jonathan Quick has been that mentor for, what's his name? Cal Peterson, I believe.
Peterson,
yeah. And he's been, the goaltender, passing the torch, 270 goals against, 902 save percentage, 3 shutouts on the year and 20 wins. So, that tandem, has been nice and has provided the Kings an opportunity, to really jump the curve when it comes to rebuilding.
Absolutely. And it's, it'll be crazy to think about. I know that Dylan saying Daryl Sutter can't lose to his former team in the playoffs. But the Kings, if they were to start today, the playoffs, they'd be facing Edmonton. So, it might just be a matter of punching the ticket to the second round. But, it's just, the Kings at this point, it would be interesting to see. It'd be very, very interesting to see if they could make something happen.
Yeah, will they continue that fine goaltending against the offensive juggernauts? It'll pretty much be battle of strengths there. So that'd be interesting how that works out. And you want to say, well, maybe edge to the goaltending when it comes to the playoffs. I mean, I've always sided with that over my years of following the sport, but also you have a team that's maybe there a little bit ahead of the time. They're too soon. They'll make mistakes.
No, you're right. That's also some. Excuse me, that's something that does not escape any young team.
But I mean, you have a team but there's still some vets on that team. Kopitar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. So I don't even foresee that. So yeah, that would be a very challenging first round matchup for the Oilers to finally get it done.
True.
But hey, if it makes a clear path for Dylan's Calgary Flames, so be it.
That's true. That's true. It does happen that way, right? Also, other young teams to keep your eye on. Obviously, the New York Rangers. I mean, the Rangers have come out this year swinging, and they have not looked back. We were waiting to see if the Rangers would drop. They never did. They just kept going. And it's like, Jesus, this team is fucking just killing it right now. Now, does that mean that they're on the road to a cup this year? I don't know about that. But I will say that if they do get going, I could conceivably see them beat Pittsburgh in the first round. If they wind up facing Washington, I could see them doing that. I mean, I don't know if they get through Carolina, but I definitely think they can get out of the first round. I definitely think this team has the ability and has that sort of gut, that the balls basically to get the job done in the first round and, smack around whoever they got to face off with. So I could see it happening, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it'll just boil down to will they score enough? I mean, this has been a strong defensive team all year, one of the tops in the leagues in goals allowed with the 185 on the season, but only 214 goals for. I mean, which is about middle of the pack for a plus 29 differential. But the Rangers can score in bunches. With that team, those type of scores, Zibanejad, Panarin. Even youngsters like Lafreniere and Kakko's still with them as well, correct? Or
yes,
he didn't get traded. But I mean, defensively, Adam Fox, Keandre Miller, what I mean, just so good defensively and so good between the pipes with Prince Igor.
Yeah, I mean that team literally has taken massive strides forward this year, and we'll see if they can keep this going next year. Because I'm interested to see, is this sustainable? That's what I want to see. If this is sustainable, then the Rangers did it right. So we'll see if that's the case next year. But for this year, though, they've made great strides, and it's possible they'll be in the second round. Troy saying, wow, the Phillies will have 4 of their own first-round picks to make the opening day roster. Who would have thought? Joe saying, Ryan Getzlaf announced his retirement. No Brian this week to speak on it. No, he's a little busy. He's got a lot going on, actually. So he's MIA this week. But, hey, listen, sometimes when you got your jobs just, working you, sometimes you just gotta take that day. Just like I need to.
Yeah, Farabee just got his bell rung, but I saw him shake his head on the bench, going, "I'm all right." So
that's good news. That's the last thing the Flyers need to see Joel Farabee have to leave.
Yeah, right.
Hey, we got Swoop in. What's up, Swoop?
What up, buddy?
And Dylan saying Jake Gensel is the best player of the Penguins now. Crosby and Malkin are behind him now. There has been rumors that Malkin is probably going to be gone. We have heard those before, so we don't know if that'll be the case, but we have heard them. Dylan saying, don't forget they added Andrew Kopp, who won them a game the other night. That is true. Kopp did get brought to the Rangers, and that was a very, very good pickup by them.
Yep.
And let's see here. We also have another couple of young teams to look out for. One other young team I would point out for the playoffs, Minnesota. I mean, they're not too young. There's still plenty of
Right.
vets left on that team, but there are some young players that are really making a difference. Not just Kyrell, but a few others as well. And Minnesota, I think that's a team I'm keeping my eyes on. I still think that they go to the Western Conference Finals. I think they can. I think they might surprise a lot of people and actually pull it off. And if Colorado does win the President's Trophy again, then I am absolutely calling it right the fuck now that Minnesota's going to the Western Conference Finals because they will eliminate the Colorado Avalanche. So don't win the President's Trophy, kids. It's bad news. It's like drugs. Stay away. Just say no. When the NHL offers you a President's Trophy, you say no and you turn around.
I saw that boy too. I'm gonna give a that boy to Justin Braun, who is a -3 in 2 games for the Rangers. That boy.
I think he's only been dressed in like a few games too. I don't think he's been playing all that much.
Only 2 games so far.
Oh, jeez. Well, let's see here. Swoop saying, have you guys talked Keith Yandel? Will there be consequences? I believe it was the right move, but maybe should have done it sooner or traded him. But honestly, I have no issue with it. We did talk about it. Rob felt that it was pretty much a bullshit decision, and that Yao pretty much just solidified his pink slip by that move. And for me, I don't care, honestly. I could give 2 shits because this season is shit anyway. But that's just me in a blanket statement of saying I just am so done with this season. I could give 2 fucks what happens. So,
well, I mean, regardless of the streak or not, though, Ryan, one thing I did point out is when you want, it is proper to bring up your young players at this point in the season. We talked about that, but wouldn't you want to pair him with Yandel so that way he can serve as a mentor? And I mean, he may be playing like dog shit hockey, worst of his career, Yandel is, but he can still teach the game to a young kid. I think that was a bigger problem that I had with it than the streak, but still, that doesn't keep you popular in a locker room.
Yeah, and Ryan,
unless they talked about it and Yandel was fine with it. He's like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I set the record, fine. Phil Kessel might pass me, fine. I'm fine with that too. Yeah,
that's true. I mean, he didn't seem like he was broken up by it. No. Ryan saying, you don't just play a guy if he's doing horrible. Just because he has a record going, Flyers need to play their young guys. But people will say if he only has 11 more games to reach 1,000, people will say, then why not continue if he's got this close? I would say that too. It takes a lot of guts, and I would have done it sooner, though. I'm not against it, honestly. I mean, I understand the decisions process of, okay. And I do hear what Rob's saying too, because it's like, do you want a veteran there to teach the young guys a few things? Sure. That's an absolutely understandable thing to want. And for me, though, I feel like, well, if he plays like shit and you want to give a young pup a chance, all right, let's give him a shot. Let's see what happens. Yeah. But I do hear the argument, though.
No, and I agree with that. And I also agree, too. Like, let's say he sets the record and then you scratch him the next game afterwards and you were hanging with him so he could set the record, but now we got to move on as an organization and you're just not cutting the mustard. Yeah, I probably would have been a little bit more okay with it then. You know what I mean? But 20 games later, 20 odd some odd games later or whatever, and a situation where you all right, so you got to healthy scratch one of your defensemen. Is Nick Seeler a world beater that you need to have on this lineup to see what you got next season? I mean, I like his spirit. I like what he brings on the ice, but I just think that you can learn more from Yandel than you can playing alongside Nick Seeler.
And, Flyers almost scored. The Flyers are on a power play. Lane. You remember that guy, Lane? The guy that everybody thought the Flyers were going to get. He just took
the new scumbag?
Yep. Just took a high sticking penalty. So,
I don't even know why I call him scumbag. He didn't have a choice where he was traded to, but he didn't come to Philadelphia, so you're a scumbag in my book.
Yeah, the normal judgment.
And, Gator's off the hook.
Yeah. So right now the Flyers with an opportunity here to try and tie the game on the power play, albeit there's not much excitement to it because, again, Flyers doing the last power play in the whole fucking league.
It's about to get exciting for you.
A couple of really good chances right there. And let's see here on the sideboards. And cleared. All right.
Oh, season high 44 shots on goal tonight for the Flyers.
Wow. That's crazy to think that the season high was set this late in the season and it's 44.
The two games they play Columbus, which they'll be playing them again Thursday, I believe, in the back home and home.
Yes.
They are combined 0-7 on the power play against Columbus Blue Jackets. The Flyers are. That's great.
Dylan saying Kevin Hayes spoke his disagreement about the sitting too. That's a big locker room guy that can definitely turn the team against Yao and the organization. That's true. He could easily start turning.
I did not know that, Dylan, and you know what? That's a guy stepping up, wanting to see on his chest, right?
Yep.
That's good to see too. I didn't think he had a minute. I thought he was more of that chummy guy that's like the clown that's always cracking jokes, keeping the locker room loose. But if he could be that leader for this team, I'm fine with that.
Bryce saying, "Yo, what's up, Bryce?" Ryan definitely disagrees. He's saying Dylan Jr. says there will be consequences. Really? Why? Just because he has a record? Well, that's okay. Here we go. We got some debates going on over this move.
That's what we love here, man.
Yeah, that's true. Agree to disagree. That's what A2D stands for.
Yeah, I've never seen a group of sports people disagree so vehemently and then come back to the dinner table, hug it out, and have some supper. Like it's nowhere. Nobody gets butt hurt,
Absolutely.
in this fan base. And we love you all, and we appreciate you tuning in every week for every show here. And you see these guys in every show. You know who you are.
Yeah. So Kevin Hayes talked Keith Yandel into coming to Philly. Both are from Boston.
That's a true story.
And then he also said Jeremy Roenick. I'm not sure what he meant. I guess, was that from Jeremy Roenick that's where that came from? I'm not sure why Jeremy Roenick's thrown out there. But I know that we read his comments off earlier on in the show, and I did not disagree with Roenick in his statements, and Rob did not either. And the power play is over, in case anyone was wondering. I'm sure you weren't. But the power play is over. And the Flyers did not do anything, but that's what happens when you have the dead last power play in the league.
Man, Lane was looking very dangerous there until he just whiffed on the puck like a la Brad Marchand.
Yeah, there you go. Cum fungus. Whiffing on pucks in the shootout, too, costing his team a game in Philadelphia. Oh, probably one of my favorite moments against the Boston Bruins was seeing that motherfucker fuck up on that play there. Oh, that was a beautiful thing. Sometimes I play that through in my mind when I feel annoyed by the Boston Bruins. I'm like, yeah, but Cum Fungus did fuck up that play in the shootout, and we won that game by that. That was nice.
Wah, wah, wah. Yow!
And Ryan saying was speaking to Dylan, but referring to Roenick. Ah, got you. That's what you meant by that. Dylan saying the record might not mean anything to the fans, but the players in the locker room were for the record. JR meant that it might steer away potential free agents, as players wouldn't want to play in Philly if that's how they treat players, especially when the locker room likes Yandel.
Yeah, but a new coach will solve that too.
And yeah, a coach could definitely do that as well. I mean, the thing is, too, is that, if fences get broken, they can be mended. So it's not really the end of the world. Plus, also, again, one coach making that decision, I don't think turns people away completely from the team. Because, if that coach gets fired, it's like, well, yeah, but that coach is gone. So, it's a different environment, like you were saying, Rob, basically. And Dylan saying, if they benched Provorov, you'd see the locker room clapping.
True story.
Actually, yeah. It's up for Hayes to play recruiter. Oh, God. Well, we saw what happened when he was playing recruiter. The team hasn't exactly thrilled the world 110%. But at the same time, though, you talk about playing for that C. Ooh, I'm surprised Farabee did not get called for that. Oh no, he did get called for that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just about to say I predict a Patrick Laine goal coming up pretty soon. He is buzzing right now.
Yeah. That would just be nice little salt into the wound right there after he took a penalty and the Flyers couldn't do anything with it. So this is, by the way, the first power play for the Blue Jackets of the entire game. So,
but Matty, that slashing happened on the second such opportunity where Laine just danced between 3-4 Flyers, and it wasn't like exactly they were playing bad. It was the talent there. The talent's no question. Sometimes the drive is in question, but he is very, very talented.
Ryan said he agreed to the poll, by the way, of us trading Jake Voracek.
Yeah, you gotta figure, Ryan, right? Like what different? Like it would have been a guy that probably would have had to try to move during the trade deadline anyway. What he brings to the ice wouldn't have helped this team be any better, and what he's done for Columbus. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's probably set up a few Patrick Laine goals, but still only one goal in the season, 23 points on the season, a very pish posh poor Corsi 4, and he has improved his giveaway takeaway game a little bit, but still 20 plus giveaways on the season.
That's not great.
Yo, did he just try to Pat McAfee that ball? That puck.
He did, and then he shoved the players down. that was actually pretty funny.
I love it. I love that spirit.
Chance. Swatted away. That was a good try. Let's see. Dylan saying Giroux scored for the Panthers. He's been doing that a lot.
Fitting in well. He's fitting in well. On that top line on that power play unit too.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the value we knew Giroux was going to bring to a team. So it was I'm fine. Hey, listen, I'd rather have Giroux play well on another team and have a shot at the cup than play well for us and be fucking out of the playoffs again. And Prism saying, been on for 2 hours. Yes, Prince. And by the way, hi.
What up? Welcome off your long ass day of work, partner.
Yeah, the hardest working man in Texas, right?
Yeah. That's my fault. Actually, Giroux's winging on the second line with Bennett and Huberdeau on 5-on-5. But I'm pretty sure he's on the top power play unit, though. You got to put Giroux on the top power play unit.
That's a very good line for him to be on. Very, very good line with Bennett.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah. And then you separate that out a little bit. Their top line, Barkov with Verhaeghe. Did I get it right this time?
Verhaeghe, yep.
And Duclair.
Nice.
I had to get it right. Priz was tuning in. He had my head.
Don't ever get his favorite player's name wrong or he will cut you. And let's see here.
Bring up the power play real quick before we move on. Yeah, Giroux. Yeah, on the point.
Gotcha. Interesting. But hey, listen, there you go. And let's see, Ted saying, the Blue Jackets are a playoff team. No, they are not. However, they did just score like a playoff team. You said it was coming, and it came.
Wasn't Laine, though. Yeah, it wasn't Laine, though.
No, you're right. But still, hey, you were half right. That's the important.
Well, I wasn't thinking. It wasn't like the Blue Jackets as a team. Yeah, that's just a crashing in that goal right there.
Yeah.
Not getting a body on him as he's coming in.
Yeah,
that's getting beat again.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, because he has Danforth right behind him.
Hard what you don't do.
Yeah. He'll teach the young guys what not to do on the ice.
But it's less by the physical and more about, you know what I mean? You're sitting on the bench the whole game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
War stories, so that's what I was more talking about. But
oh, no. Okay, I got you.
You know what I mean?
Prism saying thanks guys, thinking about quitting one. Well, hey man, if that's what you're doing, I mean, if you got a shithead boss or if it's just killing you, listen man, I get it. Sometimes you just gotta do it. You gotta do what's best for you if it's killing you.
Life's too short, brother. Enjoy it.
Yep. Hell, sometimes you get one job and it's too much. I mean, you still need one, but still.
One job. I got 13 jobs, man.
I got 30 kids. Let's see
I
here.
got 3 kids to feed. Oh, shit, you got me.
And Danforth getting his 8th goal of the season, by the way. So the Flyers collapse once again continues. 3-2. The score is now with about 5:40 left to go in the third period. So, I mean, so far, your prototypical Flyers game this season.
It's solid effort off of young players. You're giving a shot, and you still lose the game.
So there you go.
Tankers love it.
I've accomplished my goal. I no longer have child support payments on my son. Oh, there you go. There you go, my man. So you've done it. You made it. So if you got to quit one, hey, you got the leeway to do it now. There you go.
And kudos to you and all the fathers out there that, they may break up the relationship, but they don't break up with their kids, and they're there for their kids, and they take care of them, I'm sure, just as much financially, as you've taken care of them moralistically. So kudos to all the single dads out there fighting the good fight.
Absolutely. Troy saying, so anything happened? Yes, the Blue Jackets scored. They scored and they made it 3-2, and now it's about 5 minutes left in the third period.
Tanking for right. Let's go.
Yeah. Tom saying, agree with the poll. Yes. So agreeing with Jake Voracek leaving. And, yeah. Well, Jake saying, awesome shit, Priz. So there you go. Support from all of us here at A2D for you.
In hindsight, the way the show has gone, well, an interesting poll would have been the Flyers and Mike Yao did the right thing by healthy scratching Yandel. Agree or disagree?
Yeah, I probably should.
That would have been a fierce one. No. I how do you know until the show plays out? You know what I mean?
I got you. Still probably should have considered it. But
we still talked about it. We still debated about it. Put anybody that's still with us right now, agree or disagree?
Yeah.
The Flyers made the right decision. Healthy scratching, keep the handle. Go.
Dylan saying Islanders still have a shot at the playoffs. Yes, they do. And Troy saying, well then. Yes.
Half, you knew the Islanders were going to come back to the back.
Yeah. Chris saying, thanks, Pove. You made me emotional with your speech.
That's what I do. Because I'm so soft.
Not SOFT, SAWFT. Yeah. Let's see. Thanks, Jake. And yeah, there we go. So 3-2 right now still. The Blue Jackets leading the way. We're about to hit the 5-minute mark here. So the final 5 minutes of the game. I wonder if Yao's going to pull the goalie now with 5 minutes left. After never knowing what he'll do, that crazy, wacky Mike Yao.
I was about to say they might not have to. Frost coming in and firing a nice shot on goal gets deflected out of play.
Well, get a face-off in the offensive zone. Let's see what happens.
Really like the way the Flyers have played, though, offensively in this game.
They did turn
rush, good presence in the zone.
Yeah, you're right. They did turn the momentum, too, at the beginning of the game when they got scored on twice, but they swung it into their favor. They carried that over into the second and managed to tie the game. So, I mean, the effort was there tonight. Unfortunately, a late goal changes a lot of things. And, the Flyers had a couple of chances there. Unfortunately, nothing went into the back of the net.
Yeah. Again, good second and third opportunities, though. That's what you want. It's what we saw too far and few between this season.
True.
One shot clear.
Yep. And they are bouncing on those loose pucks and trying to get them in on net, which is something that we have been clamoring for quite some time. We'd like to see that trend continue. Hopefully that'll carry on into next season.
Si,
See.
senor.
Prism saying, right move of the Flyers are giving a young D-man a chance in his spot. So Prism's agreeing with the benching.
Yeah, I digs. I just think, you know, you could still give that guy the opportunity by healthy scratching Sealer there, but you know, hey, I've respected both sides of the argument tonight.
I have too. I mean, and I get it. You know, I get both sides of the argument. You know, as much, you know, we agree to disagree, as they say.
Si, senor.
So 3:30 left in the third period. Flyers trying to fish the puck out of their own corner there in their zone. They do get it into center, but we'll see if they can make an entry with it. They do, but they lose the puck immediately.
Entry, what's that? I've never heard of such things.
So play stopped, I guess, on an offside call. 3:14 left as they were showing a highlight of the Flyer that I think has been absolute dog shit this season in Ivan Provorov.
Mm-hmm.
And Prism saying, sucks for Yandel, though. Yes, it does. It does suck for Yandel. But, hey, if you play like shit, you get benched. Let's see here. Blue Jackets whirling that one down to the Flyers zone. Wow. Really terrible play there from Sanheim in the corner. You know, that's a guy who's just been hot and cold this year. You know, he hasn't been complete dog shit, but then at the same time, he'll have a stretch of games where he's completely MIA, and then he'll have a couple of games where he'll make a really stupid play. Then he'll have 3 games where he does something great. It's like, shit or get off the pot, kid. Are you good or are you shit? You know?
That's a good synopsis there. I mean, it's been more hot than cold in the second half. I will say that, but again, consistency. That's an element this team has been lacking for the better part of the last decade.
Yeah. And Julius Dag saying, is the Flyers going to score? Well,
I'm going to say yes. They've been buzzing this game, like you said, getting second and third opportunities. I think they score with the goalie pulled.
All right. I'll go on the opposite end. I don't think they will. Prism saying, where does Ronnie Attard rank in the Flyers prospect list? I don't think he ranks very, very high, but I don't think he ranks very, very low either. I think he's kind of middle of the pack at this point. He's not terrible, but he's not like earth-shattering great, you know? He's solid for his spot, I think.
I'll see what the hockey database has to say.
Yeah.
He was drafted round 3, number 72 overall. So, I mean, he could be a mid-range guy.
Which I think they've been pretty much using him as. The net is empty, so let's see if Rob's prediction comes true. And Flyers with it. Oh, great play on the pass, but it was mishandled, of course. Shot in, goes out of play. Okay, where does Tyson Forster rank in our prospects? He ranks in one of the top spots.
Yep.
He very, very much big one. Along with Bobby Brink, who they showed is finalist for the Hobie Baker. So definitely another one.
I gotta say them with yeah, what was I gonna say? Bray. Geez, I'm sorry I interrupted you, and I forgot what I was gonna say right in the middle of interrupting you. I'm having too much fun off camera tonight, boys. But no, in terms of prospect ranking, so you got Bobby Brink, right? You got Forster, Noah Cates.
Noah Cates.
On the say, I got to say that I would say I would put Noah 1, Forster 2, I think, and I think I put Brink 3, just because, you know, lack of professional hockey experience.
True.
You know what I mean? Talent level, I might put Brink. You know, it's tough. It's a tough 1, 2, 3. It's a good problem to have, right?
It is a good problem to have, but I think I think you're right in your rankings. I mean, the talent level's definitely there, but Noah, I think, shows a little bit more maturity, and that's why he's up on the roster right now, and he did score his first goal tonight, so I am totally fine with him being up here right now. Bobby might take a minute only because he's coming from college, and college players do have to make a bit of a transition, just like junior players to the pro game, like you were saying. So I agree with your assessment there.
Gracias. Yeah, I'm trying to get a hard list because you got Elliot Dana Way in this organization too. Connor McLennan, a Sandine too, who's kind of fallen off a little bit, but I still have faith in Linus Sandine. Zayd Wisdom too, playing up there in the OHL. Igor Zabula, I'm telling you, there's a lot of meat in the AHL and OHL on this team.
Julius, it's 40.1 left in the third period.
Yeah, here we go. Here comes the empty netter. I mean, the empty netter. Yeah. Freudian slip there. The Flyers game timing goal.
Yes.
Subbed in, please.
Good win from Patrick Brown on the face-off circle.
Oh, just shanked it wide. Hayes did. And here's the empty netter. Boom.
So there we go. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Is what it is.
Shit, son. I'm sorry to hear that. We've all had our dry days, but rainy days are ahead.
And Ted also says, how had Team USA captain been number 45? He's a ginger. His name is escaping. I love how what stuck out was that he's a ginger. that was funny.
Trying to think of who he's talking about.
The captain of Team USA at the Olympics. I'm trying to remember his name too. Hold on, let me look that up. Actually, it's been a minute since the Olympics came and went.
Well, it wasn't York, right? He's not talking about York, right?
I don't think so, unless the junior. No, unless it was the junior World Juniors. That might be what Ted's talking about.
Yeah. Andy Millay was for the Olympic team, Miele.
Oh, okay then. So it was probably the World Juniors for Cam York. Okay, yeah, Ted was going. So it was World Juniors, Cam York. So okay, there it was. There.
Gotcha.
He's been doing fine, by the way. He's been playing pretty well for the Flyers when he's been given his opportunities. He looks like he fits in just fine with the team.
Ted, I said earlier in the show, I think he's been my favorite Flyer this season in terms of coming in, making his NHL debut, and a lot of players coming in from the AHL. They say the game moves so much faster than they've ever played, and he hasn't seemed like he's missed a beat. He's right there playing on the speed of the game. He's going to be a great quarterback on this power play. Good defensive, minded player that you could put with a bigger stature guy, more of a stay at home. I think this is definitely a future number one. I mean, he's already playing on the number one D pairing right now, but he could be your 1A.
Yeah, I agree. I very much agree on that. Prism saying, hey, you guys, early impression of Tippett. He's aggressive. He really wants to.
No, you can't say it like that, Maddie. You got to be like, hey, you guys. There you
go. Okay. Early impression.
Little Goonies reference. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. Early impression of Tippett. I like his aggressiveness. I like that he's trying to score. He's trying to be a contributor. He has had assists, a few, and he does have a goal on top of it. So he got his first one on Sunday. So I'm hoping that, as the season winds down, he gets a little bit more in him, gets more confidence in him, and he starts fitting more into the system, even though Yao's probably not going to be around much longer. And then come next year, hopefully he'll be ripping roaring to go, and he'll have a really strong full year for the Flyers. But so far, I liked his aggressiveness. I think he's got something going.
Yeah, agreed. I was just reading this note from NHL app. Tonight was Giroux's first goal since the going on the Panthers. I could have sworn he had at least one before, if not more.
I thought he had one too. Maybe he was assisting, and then maybe that's what we were. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe he was getting assists, or maybe a deflection or something. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think this was a mistake on behalf of the NHL app. I could be mistaken, like I said. No. All be me to dispute. Yeah, it's been all. I mean, lots of points, lots of assists. He had 4 assists in his first 2 games, five in the first 4, and 7 overall. But this was his first goal as a Florida Panther.
All right. Well, there you go. But hey, you know what? That didn't surprise me. Giroux was always a very good disher. So,
Man.
And he's on a really good line to have 2 goal scorers. So there you go. That helps. Joe saying 49 shots on goal. Flyers ran into a hot goalie. Yes, Merslakin's made the most saves in his career in a game and got the win tonight. So good for him. Elvis wound up, taking a shit on us tonight. Oh, well, it is what it is. A lot of teams have done that this year. Let's see. Yes, Chris was like, there we go, Pope, when he was responding to the Goonies thing.
Oh.
And then, hey, we got Damien chiming in. Hey, guys. What's up, Damien? What's going on, man?
What's good, man? Top guy down there in Sydney, Australia. Glad you joined us. Brian's got the night off tonight. Well, not technically. He's actually working. That's why he's got the night off from the show. But he's here with us in spirit.
Absolutely. And also, man, it's tough to say goodbye to Getzlav, but you know what? He had one hell of a career. And, hey, he had a career most people would kill for. He was one of the top players in the league every year and played that entire time with the Ducks. So there you go. No, Priz, I'm not going to do the truffle shuffle. I know I have the stomach to do it. I'm not doing it, though. Let's see here.
You spelled it perfectly, Priz. It pretty much gave it away to me. What's Teddy got here?
Ted said NHL starts before the NBA, both 82-game seasons. NBA 3 games left. NHL like double digits. Pain for Shane Wright, guys. Yeah, true.
Pain for Shane. Yeah, between the they're still traveling for the Toronto Raptors too, but I guess there's more Canadian teams in hockey, obviously, than there is in basketball. Travel restrictions, a lot of COVID breaks, kind of put the NHL behind the curve with the NBA, at least this season. Pretty
much. I mean, hell, the Flyers had to do one empty arena game, and that was in Montreal, which was very strange after having seen crowds, Right. Let's see here. Prism saying Huberdeau set the franchise record for points by a Panther in a season, scoring 4 tonight. Nice. Wait a minute. Huberdeau set the franchise record for points by a Panther in a season, scoring 4 tonight? Oh, okay. He scored 4. Okay. I thought you meant in a single game. I was like, wait a minute. 4 is the record? It's like, Jesus, that's bad. And Damien said he sure did. Yes. Yeah, Getzlav had a great career there. Breaking news. Toronto Maple Leafs blow a 5-1 lead over the Florida Panthers. So Huberdeau single-handedly got the Panthers back into the game. And the Panthers are now leading at 6-5. So that's what that says. Holy shit. Holy shit.
Still 9 minutes to go in that game, too. What a barn burner. That and the Avalanche Penguins 6-4. But that's just about over. 30 seconds left.
Hey, Toronto. Old habits, right? And Prism saying...
For our biggest Golden Knights fan. Dallas Stars up 2-1 on the Islanders, end of one.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Prism saying also first Panther to ever get 100 points. He's the Hart winner. Yes. I think we can agree on that. If he doesn't win the Hart, it's straight sheer fucking robbery. But hey man, that's impressive. The Panthers are going through their golden era. We are officially at that point. The Panthers are having a golden era. I never thought I'd live to see the day, but it is happening.
I know this is a stupid question. Should I even ask it?
I don't know.
Yeah, no. Hart is league wide, correct? Like there's one Hart Trophy winner.
Yes.
Yeah. There might be one guy that has something to say, and I'm going to get to that in our shootout segment.
Gotcha. I mean, I know players can share an award, but that's usually for stat-based ones. Obviously,
Right.
the year that Lindros and Yager comes to mind when they shared the Rocket Richard Trophy for the most goals.
Right.
And Ted saying, yeah, we lost that game in a shootout, the empty one. Besides the 05-06 season and this year, can you guys remember a season started so exciting? We're in lottery.
Yeah, that's a great comparison, Ted. That's what I was referencing during my. I was unfortunately a Stanley season ticket holder for that season. A few good years before that too, but that was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, and then he Prism says, yeah, Matthews or Yossi both.
Neither.
Neither. Okay, so with that being said, I think it's time that we do some shootouts. So our shootout segment is next, but before we do that, we go to our specialized physical therapy sponsor, Dr. Paul Vidal. You know, Brian, he had some shoulder issues for about a year ago, and he did go to Paul, and they took care of him. He has 2 locations, Cherry Hill and Burlington, New Jersey. Make an appointment with them online, and you know what? If you have any aches and pains or anything, and it's just been nagging at you, and you really, really need to get it checked out, go to specialized physical therapy. They'll take care of you. Make sure that you won't have that ache and pain anymore. All right. So, on to our shootout segment, ladies and gentlemen. The person's like, now his brain's racing. He's really intrigued. Well, you could give that away in just a moment there, Rob. So we'll start off our shootout segment with our game of the week. Rob, what do you got for me?
Well, looking ahead for the upcoming week, I'm looking forward to a Maple Leafs at Stars showdown on Thursday night. We've referenced both teams throughout this show. Dallas is 7-3-0 in their last 10 and hot on Vegas' trail for that second wild card spot. Trailing by only a single point coming into the night, pending their game against the Isles that I referenced. By the way, that's back in the second period. Islanders scored an early goal that is now 2-2. 18:52 left to go in the second. Meanwhile, despite how elite Toronto has been, they only lead Boston by 2 points for second in the Atlantic coming into the night. Both these teams are in action tonight. Toronto at Florida. We've talked about that game. That's still 6-5. Panthers in the lead. 5 minutes left to go in the third, as well as the Boston Bruins, Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings leading that game 4-2 early in the third period. That's a good spoiler right there, Don. Toronto could, they got to take advantage of getting these points because they could slip into a wild card spot if they don't get them. The East is just so damn competitive, Maddie.
Yeah, it is for those top wild card spots, and that division spot in the Atlantic is very much in question. Stars are all I have left for Prism. By the way, Don was not here. Weird. What the hell?
I thought he chimed in at the beginning of the show, but maybe he had the bounce or something.
Did he? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he did give away through a regulatory comment in there. Appreciate you.
Oh, okay. All right. Here's say Jason Robertson should get some Hart votes, in my opinion. Without him, they're bottom feeders. Robertson has been really good this year.
Yeah.
So let's see here for my game of the week. I'm gonna keep it Flyer centric because you know what? I gotta enjoy something out of this fucking season, and I'm gonna say the Rangers and the Flyers getting a big win on a team that, quite frankly, you shouldn't beat this year. And the Flyers beat them in the Garden. Jones gets a big shootout win, and that alone set it over the edge because it's a shootout victory on top of it. So it's like, you know what? I'll give that one as my game of the week. So it's good to see them win once in a while, and I do mean once in a very long while. So
yeah, 710. What up, fellas? Is Brian being Deshaun Watson's massage therapist again?
that's right. He's the one who made that comment. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Some things I remember. It's weird. But yeah, Maddie, I mean, that was impressive. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I was drafting during that game. Flyers were up 3-1 in that game, and the Rangers came back and tied it 3-3.
They
They
did.
went on to find a way to win. That's good intestinal fortitude when you give up a 2-goal lead and still find a way to get those 2 points. So, that'll be a lesson to take for 22-23.
Absolutely. It'd be a good reference game to bring up. You're like, hey, you didn't give up then. Don't fucking give up now.
Truth.
And Tom's saying the Stars are going to choke. So our resident Vegas fan, very much hoping for the Stars to screw this one up.
Good early goal for the Islanders there in the second period for you, Tom.
Yeah. All right. So now on to our player of the week. And I'll start this one off. For me, I'm going to throw it out to the Florida Panthers' Alexander Barkov. I think he had himself an impressive week. I do love that the Panthers, at the end of the day, I gave some love to Huberdeau. Now I feel like, you know what, I'm going to give some love to Barkov, because team deserves it. The Panthers are having they're having their best year, period. And honestly, as long as they don't win that President's Trophy, maybe, just maybe, they might shock everyone and go real far, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, congrats to Barkov having himself one hell of a week for the Panthers.
Indeed. Well, Priz, the answer to your quandary for me, who else could it be? It's McJesus.
Of course.
For the Heart. Past week, he was the NHL's #1 star, scoring 5 goals in 4 games, tacking on 3 helpers for an 8-point week. But here's the thing, and this is why I throw it into this conversation, Priz. He reached the 100-point milestone for the 5th time in 7 seasons. He's only the 6th player in league history to compile at least 5 100-point seasons before the age of 26. Can you guys name them out there? Throw a little trivia out to end the show.
Hold on, repeat that.
Connor McDavid is only the 6th player in league history to compile at least 5 100-point seasons before the age of 26. So there's 5 other players besides Connor McDavid that have done so. The first 2 should be easy.
I'm surprised there's 5. But yeah, I got 2 already in mind, and they're probably the obvious answers. Well, I'm trying to think of the other 3.
Chime in, fam. Yeah. Think about the others, so it gives the fam a chance. I like that. I like your style.
All right, then. And by the way, Prism responded to Tom saying, "You mean like Vegas?" And every year that Vegas has been a franchise, they've choked. And then Prism saying, McJesus would win it every year if they just said who's the best player in the league.
Little side note for all of our Sixers fans that are with us tonight, if you want to switch over, Tommy and Ryan are just going on with post-game reactions.
Nice. Prism threw out Dale Hawerchuk as one of them.
Dale Hawerchuk?
Yeah.
Is correct.
All right, so that's one of them. The other one he threw out was Mike Bossy.
Incorrect.
But that's a surprise that Bossy wasn't one of them, because he was spectacular in the day.
Late bloomer.
You know what? Good point. He was a bit of a late bloomer, wasn't he? But you know what? That Islanders team made up for it though, because He just sat in the background. Meanwhile, Bobby Nystrom and Billy Smith and Dennis Potvin were just leading the way, just doing what the Islanders did back then, and that was just win cups. So, you know. All right, let's see here. So while the fam continues to ponder the other ones as well, Ted saying he's a Hall of Famer already. Yes, Connor McDavid is already a Hall of Famer, and he hasn't even won a cup yet.
Yeah, I'll put it to I'll put it to you this way: all 5 of these men are in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Besides, McDavid being the 6th player.
Well, that's obviously one of the obvious ones, being Gretzky.
Yeah, Gretzky is correct.
And does that include his WHA time as well?
I don't know. That's interesting. No, because it's league history.
Oh,
so
okay.
Specific to NHL. Yeah.
Okay. Just wondering because I know he did spend his first couple of seasons playing hockey in the WHA before the merger.
Sure. While people are still thinking, I'm going to talk a little bit more about McDavid. On the season in 69 games, he has 40 goals, 65 assists for 105 points. He ranks among the top producers in power play points. He's first with 39 assists, second with 65. Power play assists, second, 30. Shots on goal, fifth in the league with 278. Game-winning goals, he's tied for fifth with 8. And goals, he's 6 at 40. Now, I get it that he's down there in the goal department. If you look at that whole picture, you know what I mean? I like that for the heart.
Nice. That is actually a good, strong case right there for that. That's a very strong case. Prism threw out Brett Hull.
Brett Hull's a great answer, but incorrect.
Wow, Brett Hull not correct. Interesting.
Right. Oh, fam, I'm worried about you. I'm feeling like there's some rivalry hate going on right now. Why another name wasn't mentioned? That'll be my clue.
Well, I already know what the other obvious answer is. I don't want to say it because the fan's trying to answer here. I don't want to ruin it. I have another one I want to throw out there, but again,
Type it in the private chat. Type it in the private chat.
Yeah, I'll type. Actually, no, my keyboard doesn't work. I don't have the one I plug in. I can't really do that, but it's all right.
Text me.
I'll text you. I'll text you the two.
In a world that there's 80 million ways to reach out to someone, this fucking world is full of shit.
Prism saying Mo.
Mo, is it who I think you're talking about, Priz? Because you would be correct. Yeah, that's got to be who you're talking about.
Yeah, Mario Lemieux, Super Mario. I mean, who else would it be? That's the other obvious one. So the two obvious ones are now, they've been answered.
Yep, we got Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Howard Chuck. 2 more.
All right, I just threw out one of the ones that I was thinking about. I might be wrong, but I'm going to give it a shot. And let's see here. I threw out 2 names there. Anyway, so yeah, we'll see if those ones were correct. I'm not going to say them because I don't want to take them off the board.
Right. Both incorrect.
All right. Just a thought.
I will. I'll give you another clue. One of the 2 remaining is a defenseman. That's a big clue.
That's a huge clue, actually.
Incorrect, Maddie.
Incorrect. All right.
Good guess, though. I mean, these are all good guesses, obviously.
He's drawing a blank. The guy from the Kings back in the day. The guy from that's probably the one I threw out. He's probably thinking Marcel Dion, and that is incorrect.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, I mean, correct. That's what he's talking about. Incorrect.
Oh, hold on. I think I might have an idea. This might be wrong still, though.
This is a good trivia. This was a good trivia question.
This
right?
was. This is a very good trivia question.
I found this on Twitter earlier today.
Nice.
Incorrect. No.
Okay.
But again, a good guess per that position.
Because I was thinking, like, okay, well, who was more of an offenseman than a defenseman? And that was the first name that popped into my head. Unfortunately, he wasn't much of an offenseman by the time he came to Philadelphia. But,
Luke Robitaille, good guess, Dylan. Not correct, though.
No, not Lucky Luke. All right.
Not the Lucky Luke. But think about the greatest all-time scoring defenseman in NHL history.
You know what? I think I have an idea of exactly who you're talking about. Try that one.
No.
Really? Not even him. Holy shit.
Right team, though.
Right team, wrong pew. Right church, wrong pew. Okay, I know it now. I know exactly who you're talking about. There we are. That's the correct one I just sent you.
Correct.
Okay. And no, it is not Rob Blake. No, it is. I don't think it's not the Rocket.
Maddie, I think at this point, I think you'd be comfortable to announce your winning answer right now, so that way we could just perseverate on the last guy.
All right, so mine was Bobby Orr, and that's who the defenseman was. I did throw out Ray Bourque first, and then Rob responded with right team, wrong one. So I kept sticking in the 80s to when scoring was really up. I should have gone back to the 70s. But yes, Bobby Orr was that one. Prism threw out he threw out Yari Curry.
Yari Curry, good answer. Good. Incorrect. Sorry, I can't talk anymore. It's been a long show.
No, Dylan, I tried Paul Coffey. That was incorrect. And Dennis Potvin. Another good guess.
Yeah, I'm off. I'm not looking at the screen right now. I'm trying to find the tweet to find the numbers of seasons that they had of 100 points before turning 26, because that's also interesting too.
And Prism said, "Damn it,
damn it, Dale."
See, the funny part is that answer should seem obvious. You know what I mean? Bobby should seem very, very obvious. You know, you would think like, oh, yeah, Bobby Orr, duh. But for some reason, it did not hit me. Bourque hit before him. Prism threw out Joe Sakic. And he also threw out Stevie Y.
Nah, a little older than that. I think about like when scoring points was a little bit more. Did I find it? Tell me I found it. Nah, wrong one. It's also a good one though.
Prism saying Stan Mikita. I think that's a little too far back.
Yeah.
And he threw out Bobby Hull.
Yeah, this was a guy. His playing career was mid to late 70s to the early 90s.
Yeah, so during that big scoring era in the 1980s, that would be his prime.
You have any more guesses there, Matthew?
For me, well, this guy's not a D-man anymore, right? It's a forward.
No, yeah, this is a hockey forward. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to think. Let me see here. Ted saying the other show, they're just telling you at everyone. What's the trivia question again? I feel like I'm listening to Burger King Sixers one.
The trivia question was Connor McDavid is only the sixth player in league history to compile at least 5 100-point seasons before the age of 26. Can you name the other 5? The first 5?
I'm sorry, Priz. We don't have any lifelines. The same Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. By the way, great show. Prism, can I get a conference?
Conference? Yes, Eastern Conference.
So Wales back in the 1980s. Interesting.
Yeah, always in the Eastern Conference. Matter of fact, he was on 2 teams.
Okay, so he spent only time on 2 different teams, and he only spent it all in the Wales Conference. And I'm going to assume those 2 teams were in the same division, because a lot of times that's how trading worked back then.
Correct. Did I find it? Yes, I found it. Yes. Yes, we can put this misery to rest. I was just delaying the last answer until that. So far, it's good that I did that though, because then I gave Ted the question so he could think on it a little bit before giving me the correct answers that we've had so far. So we've had Wayne Gretzky. He had 8 100-point seasons before turning 26. 8. In second place, tied for second place, was Mario Lemieux and Dale Hawerchuk.
Gotcha.
Then tied for third place with Connor McDavid at 5, we gave a defenseman and the greatest scoring defenseman of all time, Bobby Orr, with 5 before his age 26. So all we have is another player that had 5 100-point seasons before the age of 26. Played all in the Eastern Conference between the years 1975 and 1994 for 2 teams.
I threw out a couple of names. The first one is wrong. The second one is the one I meant.
You got it, Maddie. Nice job.
That's what I thought. I thought it when you said, okay, he played from 75 into the early 90s. My thought was, it has to be him. All right. And Ted said, okay, Mario Lemieux, Gretzky, Crosby. Then Ted, Lindros didn't make it. No, Lindros did not.
Always a good guess.
Not a bad guess. No, definitely not. Chris was saying, Ted, the guy played in the late 70s and the early 90s. And his Eastern Conference. Yes, it is Eastern Conference. What would have been the Wales in the 1980s?
Oh no, maybe Lindros got his head knocked in too many times. He thought he was playing in the 70s.
We got to play Clue and work together.
You know who would have been all over this guy in terms of giving this answer? Frank,
yeah.
It would have been true, right?
Yeah, Frank would have known this. He would have known this last person. The only reason I do is not even for the team he played for at first. It's for the other team he played for, ironically enough.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Because of my my dad, because he was a fan of that team. So
right. Right. I remember that too. All right, you guys, the fam can tell me when they tap, and I'll give the answer.
You're getting warmer. You're getting warmer there, Priz. He was an Islander. No, not Phil Esposito. Phil Esposito played for the Rangers in the 70s and the Bruins.
Right.
Okay. That's a dumb guess. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, but that's an honest mistake, though. That kind of blends in, like, the whole Boston Ranger Island, you know what I mean? That period of time, like, guys were switching hats a little bit.
That's true. Funny story, though. Did you ever hear the story about when Phil Esposito was told he was getting traded to the New York Rangers? He was in his hotel room. Don Cherry walks in because he was coach of the Bruins at the time, and he said to him, like, I got bad news for you, Phil. You've been traded. He's like, if you say it's New York, I'm going to jump out that window. Don Cherry said, all right, I better open the window. And he opened it up. Oh man, I wish that the Flyers had gotten in on Phil Esposito since we liked to wheel and deal back in the day. It would have been nice to see him in a Flyers jersey. That would have been interesting. The latter portion of the 70s.
Right.
There we go, Prism. There you go. He said, God damn it, it's Trottier, and you are correct. It is Brian Trottier.
Brian Trottier.
Yes.
Trottier.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong again, Priz. It was Trottier. Like I said before, Ted said that's an awesome story. And yeah, so the reason why is that my dad was a Penguins fan, still is, and he was a huge fan of Mario Lemieux and Yager back in the day. And Brian Trottier was a part of those early 1990s Pittsburgh Penguins teams that won 2 straight cups. So Trottier wound up winning 7 cups in his career. Think about that. He won not 7, 6. They didn't win 5, they won 4. So he won 6 cups. That's still impressive. That's 6 fucking cups in one career. Oh, I think only Messier really can say he's done that because he won 5 with the Oilers and he won the 1 with the Rangers. So that's pretty freaking crazy, right?
Yeah, it is crazy. The only guys that I know that are, into multiple cups are, Crosby and Malkin, Brokeback Mountain style.
I don't know if they were wearing cups in that particular during that game.
No, that's 2 guys, 1 cup. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah. So
I got confused.
Yeah. It's all right.
If you follow us on Twitter, the Hockey Happy Hour, I just retweeted that from NHL Public Relations.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically the basis of this trivia question, and all the statoids and what have you. But yeah, you can follow us on Twitter at HockeyHappyHR.
Yep, absolutely. So definitely do that. Ted saying, "You sure it wasn't Simone Gagne?"
Gagne! Oh yeah. I'm so glad you brought that back, Ted, because I forgot the story. Freaking! So you said Simone Gagne was your favorite player, or was expressed by people that that Simone Gagne. I think it was. Yeah. No, it was Dylan when he was talking about how he became a Flames fan, but he always liked Simone Gagne. But I'm sure Teddy's got an affliction for him as well. Him and Donna Zubris were actually boarders at a friend of mine in high school, Holly Freehand. Always remember her. She's a cool girl. Yeah, one of it was cool. Her and my girlfriend Amy were the ones that got me into the Flyers. It was actually 2 chicks that got me into the Flyers. Respect, right? But yeah, they boarded them, and I met them when they were I guess 16, 17, 18 years old or whatever. We were about the same age or whatever. Cool as mud, just absolutely cool. One of the coolest people I've ever met in Simone Gagne.
Nice, Gagne, man. That was a dark day when he was gone. When they traded him to Tampa, yeah. My heart sank. My heart sank at that moment. That was painful. But hey, man, no one will ever forget that moment though when he scored that goal in Game 6, pushed that Game 7 for us in that series against Tampa, and then he scored that goal in overtime in Game 4 to avoid us getting swept by Boston. That started the comeback in that series. When Gagne scored an overtime winner, something special was happening. Something real special was going to happen.
Facts.
And Prism saying sometimes the Penguin just needs to be pushed through a fence. And Ted saying he's the Robert Horry of the NHL. Not the star, but great role player to get 6 rings, and Horry had 7. That's a very good point because he was a very good role player by that point. He wasn't the mega star that he was with the Islanders by the time he was on the Penguins, but he was still very, very good as a depth player. And Prism saying hockey chicks are the best. Won't get any argument here. All right. Let's wrap up our shootout segment. It's time for our hot take of the week. Robbie, what have you got for me?
Oh, I gave it before, but I'll repeat it again for those who are just joining us. the Oakland A's will move to Las Vegas by the year 2032, rename to Vegas Renegades, and sign with their first big free agent, an aging Bryce Harper, to play in front of his hometown in Las Vegas, Nevada.
And then they go and win the World Series.
Doubtful.
Yeah.
Signing a 40-year-old Bryce Harper, but who knows? As long as he's still got the quaff, I'm sure he'll bring something to the plate.
Who knows? A few grease palms here, a few throwing games there. Beautiful things can happen. They have done it once for a World Series. Don said, hey, Detroit beating Boston. Well, that's always good news. I love hearing the Boston Bruins are losing. And we should have won 5-4 in Game 7. They took a goal away in Boston. Yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah, we've been tracking that game, Don, throughout the show. That and the Maple Leafs Panthers game. Let me just before we jam off, man. Or no, give your hot take, Maddie. I'm sorry.
My hot take for the week is that I believe that the Vegas Golden Knights will make the playoffs.
Just opposite of my hot take from last week. I like your style.
I'm doing that mostly because of Chris, but still.
Wow. So that game was 6-5 Panthers Toronto the last we checked in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Toronto tied it up at 6, sent it to overtime. Panthers scored in overtime to win 7-6.
Oh my God, that is such a Toronto thing right there. That game. Okay, mark this date down and mark that game down. You want to know what it's like to see the Toronto Maple Leafs in the playoffs? Package that game, send it to anybody. You want to know what it's like to watch the Toronto Maple Leafs play in a playoff game? That is the definition of a Toronto Maple Leaf playoff performance. Right the fuck there. That was bad.
That's nuts. That's nuts. The Avs held on to win 6-4 over the Pens. Don, saying Red Wings up, but only up 4-3 now with 2 minutes 30 seconds to go left in the third, trying to hold on there. And with 1:30 left in the second period, Dallas Stars are up 3-2. They've scored late in that second period to take the lead. Bad news for Vegas Golden Knights fans. Good news for Dallas Stars enthusiasts.
Wow. That is crazy. Prism saying you don't spend 7 years cultivating that kind of shit. And Prism saying my bold prediction is that I shit in a bag and slap Kyle Davison with it and spend a few nights in jail. At least you got a plan. Oh. And with that reputation, without holding true to it, that is true. 70 years of the Toronto Maple Leafs never coming even anywhere close to the Stanley Cup. And there you go. You wonder why. All right, guys. We thank everybody for joining us for this edition of the Hockey Happy Hour. As always, a great time with you guys. And next week, we do have another game. I know, all right? It just seems like more games still coming. But
stop.
Next week, the Flyers will take on the Washington Capitals, and it'll be in Washington. Washington, of course, needs all the points that they can get to keep their playoff hopes and dreams alive. So they'll definitely be coming at the Flyers as aggressively as they can. And just looking ahead, actually, I think... Okay, so yeah, we've got the next 2 weeks, we got games, and then the 26th of April is the next time we don't have a game. So, so there you go. But the 19th should be fun, because guess who we're facing? The team we were just talking about. In their building, too. We get to face the Maple Leafs.
Oh, that's good. Nice.
Yeah, although that last game did not go so well for the Flyers. They got their asses smacked by the Maple Leafs. Anyway, thanks, Pris. Thanks to everybody who chimed in. We'll see you guys next week to finally wrap up the game tonight. It was a 4-2 victory for the Columbus Blue Jackets with an empty netter, and that sealed the deal for them, and they move on. And next week, like we said before, we'll be bringing you the Flyers in the Capitals. They'll be in Washington. Until then, guys, check out Manscaped. You can get 20% off of your order, free shipping with the A2D code, and just to let everybody know, in April, they are going to be working with the Testicular Cancer Awareness Foundation. They're trying to get it out there for everyone to know, so that way the Testicular Cancer Society, to help bring men's health and the very important issue of testicular cancer to the forefront, so that way it can be worked on and treated. So check out Manscaped and get your confidence going. Until then, guys, we thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next week right here on the Hockey Happy Hour. We'll see you then, guys. Peace and love.